Good evening everybody. Welcome, welcome. Merry Christmas one and all. Let's switch over to the regular scene. And there we go. Good evening everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful run up towards Christmas. Christmas is almost with us. We are coming up for just a couple of sleeps away. Middleman, how are you? Thank you, Sneaky Banana. How are you doing? And Mount the Moonchild, thank you also for stopping by. Hope you're doing well. And I missed one earlier. There was Blatzvimer and Wave. Thank you all for coming in. I hope you're doing well. It is Christmas. I have got my beard baubles in, so we're all jingly jangly, ready for Christmas. Oreo didn't get any baubles, unfortunately, though. Oh, Wave coming straight in there with the 2 months. Thank you very much. How are you? Thank you very much for your support. It's very kind of you. Merry Christmas, one and all. Let's see a whole load of emotes in the chat. Thank you very much. I hope you're all having a lovely weekend so far and are all ready and prepared for Christmas. It's going to be quite a festive one today in terms of, obviously we've got Winter's Veil happening at the moment. The blog will be coming live at some point. We'll keep an eye on that. And there's going to be a few different bits and pieces we're going to talk about on the blog. Let me just run through what we've got coming ahead. Literally this 1 minute ago it has just gone live, which is fantastic. So if I move this one over, we can have a look here and just go through the table of contents just at the beginning, just to give us a rundown of what's happening. Thank you very much, Mysteria. We're getting all festive today. So we're talking about today, we're going to be talking about the countdown to 8.3, Winter's Veil and what we can do to make gold there. Tidespray linen shuffles, we're going to talk about that a little bit of information on classic WoW and where that's at the moment, and then a little bit about battle pet flipping, and also then just a little chat about what's happening before Christmas and moving on into the new year. Alstar, how are you? Thank you very much. These are my beard baubles. We are all decorated for Christmas. Oreo the cat didn't get any, unfortunately. I don't think he'd tolerate them anyway. And Life Cyclone, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. I like your emotes there. They're pretty awesome. You have similar baubles for your beard. Oh, excellent. Spurt the road. We should all be wearing them at this time of the year. I've also got my, I don't think you can see it quite, my festive jumper on, which is a festive Totoro. Don't think you can quite see that there. Let me just hold that down there. There we go. We've got a little festive Totoro going on as well with the Christmas jumper theme. Actually, let's just turn that a little bit further down. And then we can see that. There we go. So that should work. There we go. So welcome one and all. I hope you're all set for Christmas. You're all getting in the festive spirit and you're having a lovely time, preparing to have a lovely time with your families and so on and so forth. We're all set here. We've got the Christmas tree up. Everything's all sorted. Oh, Rasheen, how are you? Straight in there. 13 months. Fantastic. Thank you for your support. Good evening to you. I hope you're doing well this fine evening. Let's see. Lots of emotes in the chat for Rasheen. Long-time supporter. Thank you very much. Incredibly kind of you. Oreo is just kind of like a dark blur at the moment. I'm doing very well, thank you very much. How about yourself? I've just kind of got over a cold though, so if I do sound a little croaky, that will be why. But other than that, we're doing very well, having lots of fun in World of Warcraft. We've got a couple of weeks off of work, so I'm going to spend lots of time with my family. And I'll probably be playing a fair amount of WoW in that time as well. Me and my son both have Horde characters that are 120 now, so it's been really good to just sort of play with him as a sort of separate thing and go through things like the War campaign and Najatara and stuff like that. Shawnee of the Dead, thank you very much for using your Prime. Very kind of you. Thank you very much. Love the beard. Thank you very much. We're going full on festive today. I see lots of emotes for you. Thank you very much for your support. Really is appreciated. So thank you very much indeed, everyone who's stopping by, and those that are watching on the through the Wowhead blog. You're more than welcome to pop in, and if you do have any questions about what's going on with the World of Warcraft gold making situation, myself and anyone in here is more than happy to answer questions. Marsburg, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Hope you're having a lovely Sunday so far. Oh, and straight in there with a follow for Michael9229. Thank you very much. Very kind of you. Hope you're doing well. So shall we start with just going through the wintry, Christmassy economy wrap-up. So I changed the title here to include a lot of the Winter's Veil bits and pieces. And Jigsaw, thank you very much for the follow, and Jamerican Gamer, thank you also for the follow. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for stopping by. So we're definitely going to get all festive today. See what's going on in the world of Warcraft as it is. How important are resets? Interesting question. It can be very important if you get your timing right and you can keep on top of the market when you do them. I, for one, have been doing the occasional reset of my enchants because I assume you mean resets as in resetting the market as opposed to resets as in resets each week. Just to clarify that. I'm assuming you're meaning about resetting a market, in which case it's just buying everything out and then resetting it at a higher price. Yep. They are important. It sometimes can be difficult if you can't control the source materials. For something like enchants, if the price of the materials are in high supply or the prices of them are particularly low, then it can be quite difficult to then control the price of the end result thing. Whereas if you're talking about something that you can farm quite easily, like some of the herbs, then they can be slightly more difficult to reset. But it is good. It's nice to sort of reset the price because they generally tend to have a downward trend, and it's a good way of just resetting them. I tend to do it with my enchants if I spot the Tidespray linen prices particularly high and in low supply, then I'll use that as a feeder for the enchanting materials and give me a gauge as to what sort of price I could possibly get away with on my enchants. Adriana, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Hope you're doing well. We're going to go through the economy wrap-up this week and go through all the things that have been happening. Various things have been going on Reddit and throughout the gold-making community. So I've just gone through and covered a few of those topics today over this week. So first and foremost, the big news this week is 8.3. We have a release date for it, which is excellent, something we can focus on. So it's going to be the 14th for NA and January the 15th for EU, which is going to be fantastic. Thank you, Spirit Wolf. And Trexinders, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Hope you're both having lovely evenings so far. So Jeff Liu, who is the guy at Blizzard who's been doing most of the revamp of the auction house, tweeted out about never again you'll need to wade through hundreds of single stacks. I'm very excited to see what happens with the new auction house, and it's not too long to wait, less than a month. So it's going to be very interesting to see how things like TSM copes with it. It's going to be very interesting to see what people with other auction house add-ons do, and then what the general populace do as a sort of like a much better, much improved auction house add-on. Now, I know there's been a lot of sort of consternation with whether the last in first out or first in first out system, which is better, but to be honest, I've got a feeling it's not going to make a huge amount of difference. You know, those that want to undercut will undercut, and then those that want to post at the same price will post at the same price. And suddenly your task list said you needed 46,000 gloom dust. Exactly. I've got a feeling that people are coming back. It is obviously the festive season, so people are coming back to WoW, casually playing or maybe catching up on things that they have missed out on. So it is going to be interesting. Darkwing, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Good evening to you. I hope you're having a lovely weekend so far, and are all prepared for Christmas. So, with 8.3 coming out in January, I was quite surprised to find out that the Nyalotha raid, is actually coming just a week afterwards, on January the 31st and the 22nd, with Mythic opening the week after. So, I was expecting there was going to be quite a gap between that, because the way I read it about people having to get their cloak corruption sort of ranked up is going to be interesting. So that start of the raid, with only having, say, 2 weeks before Mythic starts, and with all the Mythic raiding race, if they're going to do that this time round, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with people min-maxing their cloaks, which I think is going to be very interesting in terms of what's going to happen for things like consumables, people using food to try and get the most out of each of those sort of invasions, and then doing the horrific visions. Do some last minute shopping for gifts. Otherwise, ready for Christmas. Excellent. We're all set here. We got our food. When do we do? We got most of our food yesterday, so we're all set. And then we're ready to just basically chill with the family and play computer games and play board games and have nice food. You seem to be having an issue with your set bid as percentage of buyout. For some reason, even with your 95% entered, it will post the item's bid price for the same as the buyout. Or your other operations do it. Is it a TSM bug? It shouldn't be. You could try, if the 95%, because 95% should work, try doing instead of 95%, try a space times 0.95 and see if that gives you the figure you're looking for. It should work both ways, but just as an alternative, just in case there's a bit of a syntax error there, could give that one a try. Diurnal and Happiest Fun Rock. Good evening to you both. Hope you're having a lovely evening so far. We're just going through the Wowhead blog at the moment, so talking about 8.3 coming out. Be very interested to see what sort of what stuff's going to come, and obviously it's going to revitalise the game, I think, hopefully, touch wood. And then therefore, with the new auction house coming out, I'm really looking forward to seeing more people using the auction house, both on the buying front and the selling front. And obviously people are going for the Longboy mount as well. Oh, it was Capilethal, but you changed it by mistake. Oh dear. Can you not get Capilethal back? I quite like that one. But Diurnal sounds good as well. Batch Hunter 5, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Hope you're having a lovely evening so far. So then, talking of evening and Christmas, Breg has just recently updated his video on how to make millions with the Winter Veil. So the main thing he's talking about here in his video is something similar to what he did before in previous years. It's all about your level 3 garrison and going over and doing the daily quests on that, on as many characters as you can stomach it for. Do the daily quests and turn all those in for a Savage Gift. And then that Savage Gift will have a roughly 3% chance to drop a minion of Grumpus, which is this wonderful looking mount here. Thank you very much, Diurnal or Capilethal. Thank you for your Twitch Prime. That's really kind of you. Thank you very much. Now let's see a load of emotes for you. Thank you very much. Thank you for your support. Much appreciated. Interesting. Might just delete it and recreate it since your other ops seem to be working with the percentage. Nevertheless, much appreciated. No problem. And Kisseve, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. You did, however, do them on all your tunes on a sleepless night. Guess sleep deprived is the only way you can stomach those dailies. Too many years. I know it's a long. It hasn't really changed much, has it, from a long time ago? So it really is. I mean, I don't think I'm going to be doing it this year myself for the same reason I've kind of done it before. Exactly. 180 Oreo points to go. Oh yes, we do have Oreo points now. The channel currency, as we talked about last week, has now been implemented. And we have a few sort of. At the moment I've got the default sort of things you can do, like getting sub emotes or being able to modify them or be able to highlight text. But if you do have any suggestions for other things we could do with the Oreo coins, and how we could maybe do some more higher tier things, do let me know, and we'll see if we can come up with something. In terms of the new auction house, am I worried that LIFO will not allow a natural supply and demand curve, as no one or less people will undercut, getting the price down to match the supply and demand curve? I've got a feeling that basically if people are going to undercut, they will anyway. It's just kind of like if you're of that sort of that mental, if you've got that mental barrier where the only way you think you want to post is by undercutting, then I just lost a bauble. Hold on, that was a red one. One moment. And hello, thank you very much for your sub. That's incredibly kind of you. How are you doing? Thanks for stopping by. So I've got a feeling that those that want to undercut still will. They're not preventing you from undercutting. But then those that just want to keep posting at the same price, knowing that it's a last in first out system, can just keep on putting those on. I think it's going to favour the frequent poster as opposed to the person that might post once every sort of 48 hours. But then that's the case anyway with undercutting in its current state. So I don't see a huge change in behaviour really. In terms of supply and demand, I don't think the price will naturally sort of change how it's changed as at the moment. But time will tell. We humans are interesting things. How we actually work this in reality is going to be very different, I wonder. I'm very well, thank you very much. We're just going through the blog at the moment, talking about Winter Vale and those that are doing the Garrison Minion of Grumpus quests. We're just talking about Breg's new video on that. Midnight Hawk, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Hope you're having a lovely evening so far. So the next thing on the topic we had this week has been going on. There was a new Captain Cookie did a rework of the Bracer Shuffle, and this was quite interesting, I thought. Even though it wasn't a very necessarily most efficient use of the materials, it did avoid a lot of scrapping and avoided a lot of auction house until the very much to the end. It's Ketsuki, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for stopping by. So the process was to craft the bracers and then disenchant the blue ones and then disenchant most of the green ones, so you're getting a fair amount of materials that way. And then with that craft umbral ones and then disenchant the blue ones and then vendor a lot of the green ones and then disenchant the remaining green bracers that they had left over just to try and get the balance right, and then craft and sell the last load of umbra ones. And this only really works as a break-even point if your Tidespray linen is below 2.15 gold, which it certainly isn't on my server. Mushu, hold on, we've got lots of things here. Mushu Panda, thank you very much for the Prime subs, very kind of you. Zanzaful, thank you very much for the host, and Dragon Knight, thank you also for the follow. There we go. Thank you very much. Dado, good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. Let's see, a whole load of emotes for Mushu Panda. Thank you very much for your support. It's totally appreciated. You've been doing the Garrison dailies and the Metzen quest on 4 characters since the start and not got anything that you needed. Not seen the mount or the Flames of Ragnaros. Interesting. It is a difficult one with the percentages being so low on something like that. Oh, well, thank you very much, Mushu. It's incredibly kind of you. We were talking about this Umbral wand. So going from this into using the Umbral wands to get the if your Tidespray linen is this cheap, then it's worth doing, because the money you get back from doing this and just vendoring a lot of this does mean that you kind of like a return on your investment. But then, it's not necessarily the most efficient way you could use your... if you turn that into enchanting mats, you could probably make more money, but that relies more on scrapping and that relies more on selling enchants on the auction house. You do get a lot of enchants at the end, enchanting materials at the end of this, which you could then sell on raw if you like, or you can turn them into enchants. So there's the great thing about this is the fact that there's so many different ways you can turn Tidespray into something more profitable. So it really is seems to be the core material that drives all the prices of a lot of other things in the game at the moment. That's an illusion from the Medicine Quest reward. Oh, that's interesting. Is that a new one for this year, Adriana? I hadn't heard of that one before. At least once a week on your mage then, yeah. Most realms have so much Tidespray linen that you can do both. That's not a bad point, Rasheen. If you can get it cheap enough, it's definitely worth doing a bit of everything. And then I always prefer to do that anyway, is to spread myself over, diversify as much as possible. And then obviously, if you do manage to get Tidespray linen for under 1.8 gold, then you can actually just make Tidespray linen pants and then vendor those, which is also another option. So there's lots of different ways you could. It all depends on your time and your inclination. Obviously, most of these techniques do involve buying a whole load of Tidespray and then processing it, and that processing it can take quite a while. And I think it takes a certain mindset as well. So that's worth bearing in mind anyway. No, it's not new. Okay. The Umbral One Shuffle, however, provides you with Veiled Crystals as well, where the Pants Shuffle doesn't. No, that's a good point, actually. And I do the same with... I can't remember which ones I use for my wands. Let me just check over on Samadan. Hold on one moment. I'll have a look here. So I also have the Honourable Combatant Sorcerer's Scepter. So what I do with this, if I've got a spare amount of Umbra Shards, then I make a load of these, and then that gives me a decent return on Veiled Crystals as well. But the Umbral Wand, which is... where is it? Shatter Wands. Enchantress Umbral Wands. This one. So this one has a smaller chance of... but it only uses one Umbra Shard in this case, and a fair amount of Gloom Dust. So it's slightly different. It's very time intensive though. Yes, I've not tried it myself, but it's the sort of thing that if you have it on as a in the background whilst you're sort of say watching a film or something like that, I can see how it would work. Happy Winter's Veil, Goldmakers. Thank you, Tristan Rose. How are you? Thanks for stopping by. Hope you're having a lovely evening so far. It was originally from the Molten Core event thing, then it was added to this holiday event. Oh, right, okay. I hadn't heard of that one. But always nice to have something new. Let me just go back. There's so much to do in this game, though. I don't think I'll ever get anywhere close to it. That's why I haven't touched anything like all the things at this stage, simply because I know I'm so far behind. What makes you miss the mobile auction house? Doing your own handmade business. You haven't had time to watch my auctions. Wish they could bring it back. Yes, Mysteria, I've heard that. A lot of people have been talking, especially this festive period, wanting to be able to sort of just check your auctions on a sort of like a mobile device. It would make it a lot easier. And not everyone has access to, say, a laptop they could take with them just to be able to quickly check things whilst they're travelling. But, that is the nature of the game. If they do reintroduce it, it would be nice. All the things should actually be called So Little Time. Yes, very much so. Especially if you watch people like Kuhn doing it, and I know Mushy does it, and getting all those great percentages. I just don't have that kind of time. I'd love to have that kind of time, but I simply just don't have enough. Slick Rock, how are you? What about the new crafted eye-level 400 weapons? Wondering if the new alts, with the new alts, these will sell for a while. Are these PvP blacksmithing ones, as well as all the other sort of professions? I've got a feeling they may sell. I know notorious blacksmithing weapons did quite well, so the uncanny ones, I think, should also do quite well. I'm hoping for, even though can't remember the name of it, the new catch-up gear in 8.3. Let me just move out the way of this chauffeur, because I think that's making a lot of noise. Let me just go over here. That should be a little bit easier on our ears. There we are. And they still do quite well. Yes, exactly. So I've got a feeling. So the new uncanny weapons will definitely be good. I'd like to get myself a blacksmith so I could fully try a few different weapons out. That would definitely be useful. You got 40 hours a week to WoW during work hours, probably 20 to 30 after, and 1 to 2 weeks max. Catch up needed on that. Yeah, definitely. That's a lot of catching up, certainly. Eka Dragon, how are you? Love the beard baubles. Thank you very much. It's such a dual mindset. The catch-up gear is great for alts and leveling, but they take a real shot out of crafting possessions in terms of utility beyond a certain point. Yes, this is true. You know of a way to optimize your alts, though, at least in your opinion? Okay, Wave, that'll be interesting to hear. Certainly. I could probably do with leveling them up a bit better. I know I'm probably wasting a lot of time on Samadan, just sort of running around at the moment trying to catch up on reputation things, but I could certainly be a lot more efficient on that front. But yes, with the PvP gear, I think we got the same with Benthic at the moment. The fact that Benthic was quite a nice item level boost to start off with, but then people started running out of mana pearls and couldn't quite get the gear that they wanted, whereas the Notorious gear will be crafted for a specific slot and stat, so you can actually get the gear that you want, even for a just slightly smaller item eye level. So I've still seen quite a few sales of that, and I hope the same will happen with Uncanny gear. You geared 8 ults through Benthic gear, but those ults still needed weapons, so you're hoping weapons sell. Yeah, that's a good point. If you still need weapons, I was getting the same with tailoring and cloaks, because most characters needed cloaks, but unfortunately with the new cloak that we're getting, I've got a feeling that market's going to go as well. So what else did we have on the economy blog? Oh yes, we're talking about classic WoW. I don't know those that know Gold Goblin Net, a wonderful German gold maker. He let me know that his website actually has an English version, which I wasn't aware of, and he has got a really good comprehensive profession guide on classic, all the classic professions and leveling those up. So if you do want to have a look at those, professions.goldgoblinnet is the site you want to go to. Actually, that reminds me, I need to make this onto my command. Let me just copy this over, and then we'll have this as a Wowhead command, so that if you do want to go to the Wowhead blog, you can. Where is it? It's up here at the top. Let me just edit this, and then we can get that. There we go, submit that, and that should work. So if you do want to see the Wowhead blog, that is the link to it. Yeah, there we go, that should work. Let me just test it. Yep, that works. Fantastic. Okay, let me just see if I missed anything there. Hold on, let me just scroll up. But the Coric's Revenge does give you a 400 item eye level weapon. It does indeed, Rasheen. That's a good point. Why is the stream not advertised on the TSM Discord? We're just not looking in the right place. Interesting, the middleman. We did have a community on the WoW Economy Discord. There is a community channel that Gumdrop's put in. Let me just, I don't think I've got it on here at the moment. Let me just check. I think if you go to the community news, it's on there, but that's from like basically, that's just got a link to my Twitch channel. That doesn't actually notify you that the new ones come up, I don't think, because it's got TSM bits other than that. But it's an interesting point. It's well made. Maybe we'll find a way of What would be quite good is a way of having it automated with some sort of bot or something like that. I'll put it to... yes, there is the content creation channel. You can post it there. That does work as well. But I guess some sort of automated bot would be quite good for that. English isn't your first language, so a little confused by median and mean prices on TSM and the Undermine Journal. What do those words mean? Oh, I would love to be able to answer that, Drizzling Rose, but I don't actually know myself. Despite taking statistic maths at A level, I've completely forgotten the difference between median and mean. Isn't it to do... I think it's to do with like a bell curve, and the median being more of kind of like the average of the middle, but I could be completely talking nonsense here. The mean is average of all points divided by number of points. And median is the middle point of data. Oh, okay. I wasn't too far off then, actually. Okay. There we go. Yeah, something like that. That seems to make sense. Challenge channel for Wowhead News. Wowhead has a bot for news. Oh, okay, we'll have a look at that one. Yes, it's one of those things I don't fully... it's one of those statistics things that I don't fully understand, so I've always just taken sort of like average as my main thing. So mean is the average price over a given period of time. Yes, that's what I would take that to be the most literal understanding of the word yes. I hope that makes sense, because I'm completely guessing here. I need to go and look it up now. But anyway, let's carry on with the economy wrap-up. We'll just go through this at the moment. And so the next topic we were talking about, there was a very comprehensive post by Chuazo about battle pet flipping. And this is going to be interesting with 8.3 coming out, because there are some new pets coming out, and there is also the new pet battle dungeon. So if you're into pets, this kind of thing, it could be useful. And the main premise of this post was mainly talking about leveling pets up. Now, I know a lot of people do this on Super Squirt Day, when you've got the conjunction of the both events that give you really good leveling experience. I think it's on Squirt, and then there's an extra bonus as well. Is it a critter week or something like that, I believe? Let me just check the calendar. I can't remember exactly what it was. There's usually... I can't remember the name of it. Battle Pet Week, there it is. Yeah. Battle Pet Week, and then Squirt on at the same time, when those two combine. So this isn't necessarily talking about that. This is talking about just leveling pets up, because usually a level 25 pet will fetch a higher price than a level 1 pet. So it's quite nice, especially for the high demand pets, to be able to just take a 1 and then level it up that way. Are there any plans for TSM to be updated for the new auction house? I don't know officially, Spurt the Road, but I'd be very surprised if they didn't. I know Sapu has been working on trying to get things working with the PTR auction house, but I'm not part of the actual development team themselves, so I don't know what they're doing. But I will. But I would be very surprised if they haven't got something together, because this whole change in the auction house has fundamentally changed a lot of the things that happen with TSM, like sniping and being able to see the first and the end page, and everything to do with stack sizes. So it's all going to be changing. That's the answer. There we go. Sapu says probably. There we go. That's just as clear as saying soon. It'll be ready soon. TM. That's the political answer. So I think that's about as close as we're going to get. But that's brilliant. Thank you, Rishi. So don't count on it for now. But it would be, even if you don't use TSM, or if you do use TSM just for the market data, the main thing that it's going to be useful for, that will give those that have been into gold making for a long time or know their markets, is giving you market data for prices, because that won't change. But it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with the perceived market value of prices when they see them on the auction house, because that will only be a snapshot of what's there and there on the auction house. Whereas when you've got something like the Undermine Journal, you can see the whole average over time and things like that. So we can use that knowledge to our advantage to either increase, decrease, or push prices higher or lower. And our understanding of gold making, I think, will be the biggest advantage here. I expect some Christmas dinners and parties are shortened, quite potentially. So yeah, but I was talking about Battle Pets, and then talking about the new Battle Pet Challenge. Blackrock Depths is coming up. I don't know if there's going to be any. I think there is new reputation in 8.3, and there may be Battle Pets related to that, but I'm not sure. I haven't tested that myself, so I don't know. You did Grumpus dailies on 4 alts, got 2 mounts. Is that you being lucky, or does it really drop so much? I think that's, by all accounts, I think, Rose, that's quite lucky. Very lucky. They're also going to nerf Icky, by the way. Oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting. I do have Icky. Icky's quite a good one. It's not on this list of good pets. But it's definitely one of the good pets. I use it in all my reputation ones, but this is a list of all the ones we got that are potentially useful ones for leveling your pets. But Icky's definitely a good one. Oh, Mazel Tov, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. I love the combination of emotes. That's a rainbow bird if ever I saw one. That's fantastic. Thank you, Mazel Tov. Very kind of you. We've gone all festive today. Oreo's snoring beside me at the moment. Mozzle approved. Well, that's it then. We're done. Fantastic. Oh, I don't have a exclamation mark eggs. What's that from? You got 900 Oreos yet? I imagine so. You add Terraclaw to that list, but you can only get 1 per character, so not sure if it counts. Yeah, Terraclaw, that would be there's loads of really good information on sort of various battle pet battle pet reputation guides for 8.2, or was it 8.15? I remember Terraclaw and the Zandalari ankle biter render, something like that, I think was another one that was mentioned. Need another 280 more for the reindeer or the hat. And then another thing related to Wolf Herbs being few last week. Today you logged onto alt 6 AM, got 50 stacks for at least less than 1 gold. Oh, fantastic. Render, that was it. Ankle render. And knee biter are both excellent. Yeah, those 2 pets. I mean, I'm not a massive pet person, but those ones I have heard are both good pets. So ones you could level up, certainly. And talking of pets, Billis Anixia has updated his import strings to include all the new ones from 8.3. So he's got a Reddit post there talking all about it. So you can use those to search for the new pets coming out, and you might be able to flip them for a higher price. Obviously, being new, it's going to be interesting for various people to see if they can get them at a decent price. My stream 90, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well this fine evening. And then what I wanted to do was a final note before Christmas, which is basically just to say a big, massive thank you to Wowhead and Gumdrops for handing the reins over to me to do this blog. I've really been enjoying it. And just like as a message to everyone, is to have a lovely Christmas wherever you are. Spend it with your family, friends, pets, whoever's close to you, and to have lots of fun both in the real world and in World of Warcraft. What's that? The hype. I love that one. That's fantastic. But you learned you have to have the right breed. Oh, okay. He was using some guide recommendations, I think, on Wowhead for Naztar merch pet battles, and there's one in Mechagon that I can't beat because of the wrong breed. Ah, yes, I think I had I don't have the post itself. Hold on, I have got that that information I had on my my Miro board that I used, and also Jarlhammer. Thank you very much for the follow. Let me just see if I can find it. Well, it looks like Oreo's disappeared, so I'll turn his camera off for the moment. There we go. Let me just sign into this. And more suited to doing. Oh, well, thank you, Midnight. That's very kind of you. And Gumdrops is here as well. Fantastic. Merry Christmas, Gumdrops. I hope you're doing well. We were just saying, as a final note for the economy blog, was to say a big thank you to you for passing the reins over to me and wishing everyone a Merry Christmas. And it's lovely that you've stopped by. That's fantastic. I hope you're all... you were travelling earlier, I believe, so I hope you're all settled and ready for Christmas, wherever you may be. Let's see, lots of emotes for Gumdrops. A bit of everything. And a Merry Christmas to everyone else as well. There we go, I've got that. Let me just go into this Mario board. We're talking about the pets as one last thing. Let me see if I can find this. Let's bring this over to this tab. Oop, there we go. Let me just close this down. Don't need that. Yeah, got that. Don't need that. Where was my notes on pets? I did have some here somewhere. Bear with me. I think it was this one. No, that was a Golden Lotus. That's River's Heart, Primordial Ruby. That's the BfA one. I'm trying to remember where it was now. Here it is. It was this post here. So this was talking about Bone Shard and Icky. Now I believe, have I got the actual link to the post on this? I don't think I've still got the link to it. This is a Reddit post all about the how to get the reputation for all of these, but these were basically talking about Bone Shard, Icky, and some other tanking pet. And obviously you can do Icky if you do from the quest chain Spies of Arak. That's the best way there. Let me just scroll up, see if I missed anything there. Oh, missed loads of stuff here. What about transmog options for sales from buying supply crates from doubloons? Looks like 2 green items and 1 to 2 blue items per crate. I'm not sure, actually, Slickrock. It's not something I've looked into myself. My beard is a Christmas tree. Thank you very much, Nelson Gaming Show. Blog on the disco. Oh, and John, I've missed you there. Thank you very much for your 10 months. That's fantastic. Thank you very much for your support. Let me just throw a whole load of emotes in for you. Thank you very much. Incredibly kind of you. Thank you, John. In fact, I'll just go over here for a minute and finish that off in a moment. I'll just go through everything else. Glad you're having a blast with the blog. I am indeed, Gumdrops. It's been lots of fun. Oh, it looks like Oreo's come back, so let's pop his camera back on. There he's just grooming himself. There's pets from those crates as well. Oh, okay. You transferred a character to Shadowsong. It's actually a nice server, kind of quiet. It is. I love it. I don't know any different servers, but I've found it very useful. Oh, it looks like Oreo's gone upstairs onto the sofa. So I'm just going to turn his camera off as he's gone onto the sofa behind me. You can probably see him. There he is on that side, just behind me now. There we go. Might be a little fascinated by organisation method. Checking out Miro soon. Yes, it's really useful. Now I've been thinking of opening up that Miro board I wanted to start up a Patreon, and I was thinking as one of the first rewards for that was to open up that Miro board, and so people can sort of get access to my brain, as it were, because that's how I dump a lot of my thoughts. So I thought that is one of the options for a Patreon. Speckert, how are you? Sorry, I'm scrolling down the chat here. I'm missing a few things. Love the Hexon Spears. You're welcome, John. Might be a little fascinated. Yep, I did that one. And Zufu is the best pet resource. Yes, that's definitely a good site for that, definitely. Kind of slower than Silver Moon, which you're mainly playing, but things sell eventually if you're not in a hurry. Yes, that's the thing I like about this server, is the fact that I can just post things on, and for the most part leave them for 48 hours, and if I get a sale then I'm happy. So it kind of works for me. And WoW Pets is great for values. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to do with pets. That's not a market I've really looked into myself, simply because I find they sell very slowly. But that said, they do sell, and I have been able to get some decent sales over the course of the years. Do I have a way to pick servers? You want to start on a new market? We did cover that a couple of blogs ago, actually. LCR. Now let me see if I can find the right one. Hold on, let me just scroll that over, and we'll do that. Professor Chaos PhD, thank you very much for the follow. Let me see if I can find... Now, I don't think my things link in here, so let me just check my previous guides. It was the 102nd Economy Wrap-Up. That was the one that did it. We covered server selection there, choosing a server, and I went through and did a whole load of information on that. So let me see if I can find the link to that for you. Let me have a look. 100... It was this one, I think. Looks like there's two of them here. Hold on. 14 days ago. Choosing a server. This one. Let me copy this and paste this one in there. There we go. So the that one talked about choosing a server and various add-ons for gold making. So that goes through a lot of the different things there. So hopefully that will give you some information that you're looking for. A weird question maybe, what's my resolution my game is running at? UI always seems so big. No problem at all. I am at 1360 by 768, I believe. And then that's scaled down to 1280 by 720. But yes, it is rather large, because I'm on basically my TV in front of me, and that's the maximum resolution it can go to. It is based on names people remember, and even look at the hex icon for some. Oh, for the Hexweave bags. Oh, I missed something. He was watching my video and wanted to ask, is Shadow Song server dead currently? Oh, not at all. Not at all. There's a lot of activity. Although I missed yours, Rose. Okay, let me just scroll up, and I've caught everything there. Maybe I'm wrong. What do I think? I occasionally reset in chance, but I don't heavily or actively do it. And then Rose, you're saying Hexweave bags, same slot, about a third of the price. People buy Hexweave bags. I think it's just it's a almost like a comfort thing, or a thing that people just are most familiar with. That's the one to go for. The bags in Epic Deep Sea bags are rare, so Creeping Fear that all shouts rework, you put rare first or alongside your Hexweave bags. Yes, I mean that will, I suspect the Hexweave bag market may get a bit of readjusting because of that, certainly. Farmer True, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Hope you're doing well. How's your weekend going so far? Hope it's all good. You was playing for the past week in the server, and the auction house feels dead to you. Oh, interesting. I don't know any different because I've always been on this server. If you've come from a Hypop server, then yes, it may seem a lot slower. For me personally, it's got the right balance. I would like to try some other servers for sure, definitely. You farm them out so it's 100% profit. Other than your time, obviously, just in rows. But the price goes down. You won't make as much, which would be sad, definitely. The gem economy is nearly dead. Press F for dual crafters. Yes, it's a dual crafting. I would, especially with all the sockets coming out or not coming out in 8.3. I'll be very interested to see what happens with that one. What has the true farmer been farming this week? You're from Proudmoore. Okay, Proudmoore's kind of the most competitive for auction house gold making. Interesting. Bitbinder Gaming, first time catching me live, but been following content for a while. Well, welcome on board. Welcome to the live show. We've just literally finished going through the Wowhead Economy Wrap-Up. So if you do have any questions for the Wowhead blog, put them in the comments on the blog, or ask here in chat, or ping me a message in my Discord. Any of those methods will work. A Bitbinder Gaming, thank you very much for the follow. Very kind of you. Let me just close. I think I'll close that window down as well. There we go. That should make it a bit easier. Dual crafting needs new ring patterns. Only hope there. That could be interesting. Dave, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Happy Christmas to you. I hope you're all set. Hope it's going well for you. All professions need a few sockets per craft. Yeah, I think some more sockets would definitely be the way to help with dual crafting, certainly. Thank you, Dave. We've gone full festive with the baubles today, as it is only a couple of nights before Christmas. Good news, you only need 7 more tokens to finish getting all items in Hero of the Storm. Then you start saving up for Shadowlands and Diablo 4. Well, that's a good use of gold if ever I saw one, certainly. Yeah, all professions need a few sockets per craft. That would be quite nice, actually, if you could put sockets on some of your crafted like tailoring gear and stuff like that. That would be very interesting. So shall we carry on with our gold making adventures now that we've done the economy blog? So I'll probably go find somewhere a bit quieter, and I'll go through my mailbox, which I haven't done a great deal since relisting things on this past week. Been fairly busy with family stuff, but I have saved everything since about Wednesday, so we'll have a look. New rings in 8.3 won't be the same for gold making like it used to be in previous patches. They stealth buffed the amount of red and green gems you get from prospecting significantly. Oh, right, okay. So what will that effect will that have, I wonder? Just because if you get more, then the prices of them will go down, I imagine. What would you refer to a guy who's making a new tune on Shadow Song to make some gold? Like Pets, Enchants, Morgue. Morgue as in Transmog, do you mean? I wouldn't refer to them as anything other than a fellow goldmaker, really. A lot of people have been setting goals to get the long boy. Setting gold for other things is welcome. This is also interesting. Some retire at 30. Yeah. If they're going to be as slow as the Diablo 3 release, and going to be retired when Diablo 4 comes out. Yeah, that could work. Retiring at 30 would be nice, although I'm well overdue that. Okay, so let's have a look at the mailbox for Samadan for the past few days. So the things that have been selling for me at the moment is the usual bits of food, bear tartare, baked potato, and some various enchants from Force Multiplier, Battlefield Captain's Feast, we've got a sale there. Mark of the Hidden Satyr for 3,000, that's a good price. And we've also got Mekdal's Big Mech, that seems to be selling well. Biltong, baked potato, so some food's doing well. Another Mark of the Hidden Satyr. Now this Accord of Critical Strike here and Accord of Haste, this is an obvious reset here because these prices are really quite low, 665 and 760. Now I did a reset the Wednesday before last. So it's interesting to see someone else doing a reset on those enchants. So we have got 37,000, and we've got another 25 coming after this. Transmog is very inflated on Shadow Song, so throw prices quite a bit. Yes, it does seem to be quite inflated, doesn't it, Midnight? I don't sell much myself at this stage. So let's open up all of these. So 37,000 on that. You're getting government health pay until you're officially retired. All right. I hope all things are good with you, Darkwing. On all servers, it could be. It'll be very interesting to see what 8.3 brings with people looking for transmog they haven't got. I'll be very interested in that. Pretty much everywhere, yeah. Whether it sells or not, it all depends on a buyer. The price is the price that someone's willing to pay for it, really. Thinking just boosting a tune to Shadow Song, see how the auction house works at level 120 when you have full profession unlock. Yep, it's worth a go. I mean, I'm finding with the professions I've got, I'm certainly enjoying it. Yeah, we're getting a decent amount of sales. Alchemy's doing quite well. Enchanting is ticking through, even though the profits are less than they were before. Tailoring's doing quite well, as is leatherworking with the Notorious gear. But everything else, I don't know yet. We are on our way to getting other professions. So yeah, we've got some more resets here. Accords of Haste, very cheap there at 535. And more McDowell's Big Mac. So food's done well, 16,000 in that mailbox. So I've spent a lot of my gold on tokens recently, so we're trying to get ourselves back over the million mark on Samadan, only at 355,000 at this stage. So probably worth a look to see if we need to restock on anything. At this point, I've got to imagine some of my auctions are going to expire. Yes, these are all going to expire soon, so let's just take these off now. See how many we can get before TSM refreshes. Having a good run of it so far. Nearly all the way through. Going to take all of these off. I might as well take these enchants off as well, because those are going to need a reset, or at least a more competitive price at least. What's the average Tidespray price over there? It's usually about 4 to 5 gold has been my price point for buying it. I very rarely see it below 4 gold, certainly. I have bought a fair amount of it for sort of anything between 4 and 5 gold. Sometimes it goes a little bit higher. Guild recruit to get alts into the guild. Still need to test that. That should work, definitely. I think we tried that. Feather Moon is at 1.8 right now. Oh wow! Okay, so you can do the Tidespray pants vendor shuffle at that price. Just about. There's plenty of options there, certainly. Used to be on Feather Moon back in your day. You got your 4 monks in last week. Doing great. Oh, fantastic. You'll be changing that very soon. Oh, right. I get on start with guild recruitment today. Okay, right, there we go. That's me caught up on those. Let me just check how we're doing for space. We're okay for the moment, so let me just do a refresh on this. We'll let this run through, and we'll get all these auctions listed back on. So a little bit of gold maintenance, I think, for the next sort of probably about an hour or so, where we just relist and restock everyone on. It shouldn't take too long. It all depends on how much I need to restock on things. Samadan usually has about sort of just under 400 auctions as a full list of stuff. It's got a value of about just about 1.1 million or something like that. What's the add-on showing all the recipes? Which one do you mean, Mushu? Do you mean the one that shows the website, Krithny, or all the things can do it? Yeah, that's another one. Akis recipe list is the other one. Yep, that one. Then there's also Cecile's recipe tooltip, which is sometimes a bit flickery, but that can be good for looking at what a recipe creates and looking at the tooltip on that. That's also useful. Yes, Krithny recipe list, I believe it is. Cecile's clashes with TSM. It does. There is a way of changing it though. You have to go into your settings. So at the moment, if I were to turn it on, now let me see if I can remember the settings. It's in the tooltip settings. It's the option here to embed TSM tooltips. So if I were to go on here, I've got the add-on somewhere. Let me just have a look. So add-ons, Cecile recipe tooltip. So if I just turn this on for the moment, for, well, let's say, let's turn it on for all of them. There we go. Reload user interface. And just show a quick way around. You can at least get it to stop flickering. So bear in mind. Oh, there's Christine.net. Thank you, Rasheen. So if I were to look at shopping wise here and go say recipe usable enchanting. So these are all the enchanting recipes that I don't have at the moment. And if I was to hover over one of these, the tooltips, there we go. It's now starting to flicker like that, which is, apologies anyone who whose eyes are affected by that. So you can't really see the recipe alongside it. But then if you go into TSM under the settings, under tooltip settings, and you turn off the embed TSM tooltips, and then you hover your mouse over here, now it should come through. You have to still hold it over the edge, I think. Which one is the one I'm looking for? No, can't seem to get that one working. It's still bugging out for me. I'm sure it was that. Maybe something's changed. Let me see if there's anything else I'm missing on there. Unless I just enable TSM tooltips off, but then you don't really see it. Because then you see the thing on the side there. But maybe I need to look at something else. Maybe look at tailoring. Let's see, tailoring. Let's have a quick look at this one. See if this works. It could be down to my window size. If you make this bigger, maybe this will work. There we go. That's a bit better. And then if I turn on the tooltip settings back on, see if that works. There we go. So it was just down to my window size wasn't helping that at all. So then we can see, say, a pattern swift heel mantle can also gives me the TSM tooltips for the mantle, as well as, so I can look at the market price of, say, like pattern mooncloth bag. I can see the price there on the right, and I can see the actual data for the actual mooncloth bag itself, which is really handy. So that's something. Now I realise I've missed out a load of chat whilst doing that, so let me just close that down, turn that off. There we go. What did I miss? There we go. Did that one, yeah. You hate the expulsive thing, and it's impossible to catch up with new alt if you want to make a game content such as 445 gear. Depending on which profession you need expulsion from, definitely. Do I have a Stream Deck? I should wish for it on Xmasif. Yes, Stream Deck is one of those things I think would be very useful. I don't have one because I literally just press all my emotes by clicking on the window. But yes, that's one of the things on my my mental list wave, as well as something to do. A new improved controller for my left hand and my right hand would also be useful. You can see how much you have of each item when you hover over it, like 110 sumptuous fur, 41k Gorgrand, and pigment wood crafting support. Okay, TSM should show you the quantities of things. That's pretty good. Just spam craft scrap bracer, exactly for tailoring. Each time you scrap, you'll get leatherworking tailoring mats right back. Yeah, definitely. It's nearly 10 to 1 now. Certainly time consuming if you want to farm. Very inefficient in terms of expulsum. It is the whole problem with the scrapper is it is limited to 9. It's not something you could just say scrap everything and be able to do everything. That would be a lot more useful. Oh yes, and also scrapping Borealis. There's the other place you can do, isn't it? What else did I miss here? Just in want to do those. Any tips for aspiring goblin without much gold to start off with? Yes, QTV. I would suggest doing something like Kuhn does. If you don't follow Kuhn, I would suggest you do. He does a lot of farming and is working his way towards the long boy, simply having herbalism and mining on one character. Give a shout out to him. If you go follow his channel, he's doing his Brutosaur challenge, and his methodology is very consistent. And we covered it on last week's economy blog. And he's limiting himself to 2 hours a day and just going around and farming things, and mainly the sort of the ores and the herbs of current content. And that seems to be working. As long as you find that fun, that's the main thing to think about. Is whatever you do when it comes to gold making, first and foremost, make sure it's fun. Please show you how I did put tool tips side by side for patterns and the respective crafted items. That was using the add-on Cecile's Recipe tooltip. It was this one here, Cecile Recipe tooltip. That's what's put them on side by side. Recipe tooltip. This one here. That's the one. No time-to-play shuffles can be good, but there are 350 stacks of it, under 2 gold on your server right now. If someone is botting that much Tidespray, can you actually make a profit? Well, that's a good price for Tidespray. My next question would be, is what are the price of enchants of your your Umbra shards, your Veil crystals, and the enchants that you can make off those? If you can make a profit through doing the shuffle, then I'd certainly recommend it. Something as easy as Cards of Omen. Yes, that's one you've mentioned before, isn't it, Drizzling Rose? So loading Cecile and unticking in bed. Oh, it ate your frames. Interesting. Maybe it's just maybe you just have to fiddle a little bit with your window size and positioning, and it should hopefully work itself out. Hopefully. It's not the most perfect method of trying to get them two to work, so your mileage may vary depending on what other add-ons you've got on. What mastery should you get for alchemy? I would recommend Transmute Mastery is a good one for living steel. That's not a bot, it's a multi-boxer. Yeah, certainly that is true. Easily could be a multi-boxer. Selling a little under vendor price is profitable when taking crafting time into account. Exactly. Me and Farmer True had a conversation the other week about how a lot of multi-boxers do get kind of misrepresented as bots. It's a very different thing. And it's actually the multi-boxers that are able to get hold of these large quantities of cloth, which is great for feeding people like myself who need large quantities. I bought a few stacks of Tidespray the other day. What's my guild bank looking at? Let's have a look here. 350 stacks is an hour's farm. Exactly, that's kind of the volumes we got here. And this is the kind of Tidespray that I would buy. I've got all of this lot here that I'm just looking to convert into enchanting mats. How much have I got at the moment? 32,000 at the moment in total. I'm not sure if that's completely accurate. I'll have to check what's in the bank. It might need to update on that as well.
Good day to you.
I'll have a look. Oh yeah, we do have a load of Tidespray in here as well. So yes, I do have 32,000. You've got about 200,000 sitting on your tailor. Yeah, these are tiny numbers. definitely. You can vendor flip. With that kind of supply, you're worried about trying to make the profit. It all depends on everything else in the supply and demand, definitely. And you can vendor flip at that price. Yeah, we were talking about that in the blog, using the umbral shards and stuff like that. If you have a look in the Tidespray shuffle we talked about there, Wowhead. If you have a look in that one. What is that bank UI? I use Addy bags as my bag add-on, so it's here for my backpack, and it's also the same for my my bank add-on. I've just installed the TSM add-on to go with Addy bags as well, and it's really good because I've been able to adjust a few things according to TSM groups. Like I've got all my weapon enchants in one lot here. I've got my old world good enchants are coming up here, and all my ring enchants coming up here, which is really quite nice. You need a character level 90. Oh, this is for the cards, yeah. Yeah, Addy bags, that's the one. Veil crystals are at 132 gold. There's a lot doing the enchanter shuffle. I would imagine so. I mean, my price for veiled crystals is coming out at... Where are we at for veiled crystals? Let me have a look. Veiled crystals, my mat cost is coming out at about 82 gold, based on buying Tidespray linen at 4 to 5 gold. So those are the numbers I'm working with. And then the enchants themselves, like, what's a good one? Let's think, the ring enchants I think would be a good one. Where's that? Critical strike gives me a crafting cost of critical strike of about 404 gold, which means the actual enchant itself is going for about 874 gold. So that gives me about a 469 profit. So you could just sell the veiled crystals at that price. I could put those on the market at 172 and effectively double my money based on my mat cost there. But I tend to turn them into enchants myself. Jack and Neil, good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. Right, let's carry on with our gold making bits and pieces we've done here, because I've neglected to do all of my relisting of everything. So I'm not going to sell anything with nothing on the auction house. So let's just go through and open everything up. Darkwing, Merry Christmas to you too. I love that. Thumbs up with a Christmas hat. That's fantastic, Darkwing. Well worth it. Well spent points, most definitely. You've done a marvellous job there. How are we doing for bag space? Let's go and post some of this stuff on. Even though there's an auction house just there, we can be right next to the... So auctioning, let's select everything and run a post scan on this lot. Let's just move that across a little bit. And we'll get all this lot on. There's a reindeer as well. Oh, fantastic. My mail opens so fast in Stormwind. Am I on low pop realm, or what's the problem with your computer? Not the server population. It can be server population. It can also be the zone you're in. So I'm in the Dwarven district here of Stormwind, which is a lot quieter than the regular one. And Borealis is a lot slower. Dalaran's also a good place to go if you want fast mail opening. In terms of server size, I'm about medium pop, I would say. The mail's been better for you on high pops at least last week. Oh, okay. Interesting. Maybe it's been greedy for a moment, but thanks for the info. Treat the mailbox and the scrapper are closer than Borealis. Yeah, I mean, having them close in Borealis is definitely handy. So that's all that posted on. Let's carry on with all these cancels. Let's get everything open. Get all this going. Put all your auction house characters in Darnassus. Even that's slow. Oh, interesting. I wouldn't have expected that, because that's very quiet. Garrison resources are unlocked fast when you've done the quest. Get the first garrison ability. Oh, that's for getting all the things. Descriptive words. Shatrath's good as well. I like Booty Bay as well. I really miss Booty Bay because that's so relaxing to be there by the sea. Really, another 18 left. So let's post this lot on. Okay. This is like my normal morning routine. What I'm doing here is this is what I would do to, you know, with a morning coffee, and I would just go through and relist my auctions on. But it's because of Christmas, I've slightly shifted my time zone to be doing this in the evening. I want to check add-ons are up to date. Maybe turn some off, it can affect mailbox speed. Yeah, good point, Farmer True, actually. Add-ons can conflict with mail, certainly. And the just general running of your game, certainly. So it's always worth having things on. Optimise as best you can. Alright, let's get all this lot on. I'm not paying too much attention to the prices at the moment. I know a couple of those things there are inflated at artificially high prices, but I'm leaving them on there on the off chance. But I'm going to just go through, get the rest of this 140 through. Shouldn't take me too long. 2 more tunes to level in Korok's Revenge. However, someone really needs to fix that AFK notifying system. You're not AFK, you're very active in the auction house. Exactly. That's a very different thing, isn't it? How long do you think TSM going to take to update when 8.3 hits? I don't know specifically. Probably is Sapu's official answer, and soon TM would be the other official answer. So I don't know. But I imagine it won't take them too long. Hopefully, fingers crossed, touch wood. Tried disabling all add-ons. And load speed is only about 7-ish seconds instead of the 15 seconds you have in your main server. So all your characters have all your non-monks. Interesting. Alright, how are we doing here? Are we nearly full? How much have we got left? 41 in the mail. Let's do a quick refresh and see if we can get the last lot in one go. Hopefully. So it doesn't really affect loading screens that much. Loading screens, I shouldn't have thought so. I mean, loading screens should really be down to your whether you've got an SSD or not. Would be my first thought there. Seems those few on a slower PC, yes. Okay, interesting. Not quite enough to do the full lot, so we'll have to come back to that one. Let's just run this lot through. But only the really big add-ons. Ah, okay. Especially older, not optimised ones. Ah, okay. So you're on a MacBook Pro 2013. Does that count as a slower PC? I have no idea what its speed is by comparison. It might be okay. At the moment, yes. Okay. Even affects your main rig that runs 24 clients. Yeah, and Farmer True's got a pretty decent rig as well. You have an SSD and 24 gigs of RAM, but your CPU is a Gen 2 i5 from 2012, so it's old. Well, Mr. Potato 2.0 is not... I don't know what generation i5 I am. I've certainly got a lesser spec than that. I'm not sure if I can bring this up easily. Hold on. No, that's going to end up just popping those windows up. AstroPeas, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. Alright, let's get the last of these off. And Sonad, also, thank you for the follow. Hope you're having a lovely day so far. We're just getting our auctions on at the moment. So we've just been going through the Wowhead blog, talked through all those points, and oxymoron. Or is that oxymoron? Thanks for stopping by. Hope you're doing well. We're just posting everything on at the moment. Oh, Drewtastic coming in with your Twitch Prime as well. Thank you very much. You sell a lot of bountiful feasts. I do at the moment, actually. Occasionally, they go in fits and spurts. But thank you, Drewtastic, for using your Prime. That's incredibly kind of you. Thank you for your support. Here's a whole load of emotes for you to use in your chat. Thank you very much indeed. Right, did I post everything on there? Let me just check. I think I got most things there. let me just double check everything. Check. My auctions are all fine. Run a post scan. Everything should be fine there. Maximum amount posted. Let me just check. You got the Santa as well. Oh, that's brilliant, Darkwing. Good use of emotes there. So looking at Tidespray linen at the moment, currently sitting at 5 gold 50. And I did buy a large amount of them. We don't have any large amounts on at the moment. And so my average purchase price is actually 4 gold 16, which is what I would probably snap anything under 5 really ideally up if I can. But also my shimmer scale here is a very reasonable price at 3.48. I could make some shimmer scale braces at that price. It might in fact be worth buying those out, and then I'll send those on to Earthen.
If you find anything exotic, bring
Excuse me. From old to younger on the above smileys. Yeah, it does look like that, Darkwing, certainly. By the way, I just learnt to use a macro to start the scrapping. You use Easy Scrap, you add it to your TSM scroll wheel macro. It's altogether one macro. The line you need to add is /click Easy Scrap _ scrap keybind frame. Oh, okay. Interesting spec out. I use my TSM destroy macro here. And I use, I just basically just click on the icon itself, and when I come to Easy Scrap, that's a different thing actually, not disenchanting, I meant easy scrapping. 1,000 gold, short of 1 million mailbox, feels so disappointing. Ah, that's so close, yet so far. But that's amazing, 1 million gold mailbox, certainly. So let's go send that shimmer scale over to Earthen, and then we need to just check, see if we need to restock on anything on Samadan. So let's just go through. We have a few restocks here, nothing massive. Lots of food, obviously, because we had some good food sales. So let's have a look. What do we need here? Gathering wise for cooking, tailoring, and enchanting. Cold Tiramisu, Midnight Salmon, things from the Guild Bank. So most of that is from the Guild Bank. So let's go collect this up. Whilst we're here, we'll just craft a cooldown of our Hexweave cloth and temporal crystal. Just spent half an hour emptying the mail for that letdown. Alright. So Ned, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Exactly, always did that, but it's so much easier, especially with big sizes of scrapping. Okay, we'll have a look at that. Let me just copy that. Where is it? So you added it to your scroll wheel macro. It's all together in one macro. The line you need to add is /click easy scrap keybind one frame. Okay, let me copy that and go back to here. I'll be with you in a moment. I feed on mid. Thank you for stopping by. Hope you're doing well. So we're going to go into my let's just minimize this for a minute. So we'll go into my macros and then go under some general macros, TSM macro, and then we add in /click easy scrap keybind frame. Okay, we'll save that, exit out of that, and I'll test that out next time I scrap. What else did I miss? Data saw is shared on the database. What was that for? Scrapmaster add-on from Billis has a macro for both refill the scrapper as well as start scrapping. Okay, thank you, Rashid. I still haven't checked that one out. It's one of those things. Is once you get set up with one, I always get reluctant to go and try another one. But that's just habits, really, more than anything else. I should really be over in Dalaran for doing this, for all my gathering, because the guild bank's right in the back here. It's not quite so easy. So let's just go through with our task list. Let's collect from the guild bank. Onion, Frenzied Fangtooth, Midnight Salmon. And we have a few more things we need to buy from the auction house. We need some Tiramisu and Mondazi, and a load of stuff we need to buy from the vendor as well. Okay. You do an add-on clean a few weeks after your first highest level on new expansion. Starting fresh helps so much speed-wise. That is true. A freshening up of everything every now and again really does help. Right, so cooking crafts, vendor. We'll go to our vendor here. And we'll buy the things we need. Right, let's start with some of this food. We can get that going. Let's get Pierre up. Let's move this over to the side. So we need 5 cold tiramisu to get the bountiful feasts going. But we can make all the other things already. So let's start with those. McDowell's Big Mac. Abyssal baked potato. Bear tartare. Fragrant cacaviar. And then we just need quite a few different bits and pieces here. So we need to get the right number here. So cold tiramisu and Mondazi, we need 5 of each. Currently a profit on those. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's queue those in. We'll make those. Oh, we just sold something. What was that? Enchant Ring, a Cord of Versatility is just sold. And Mondazi, we'll make 5 of those. And then we also are missing a few things on Bountiful Feast, the Red Tail Loach, Stringy Loins and Frenzied Fangtooth. So we probably need to get those from the auction house, I imagine. And there goes an Accord of Mastery for 823. Even better. So let's have a look at this. Love the reindeer routine. Okay, so looking at the prices of these is usually quite tricky. Frenzied Fangtooth there. My average purchase price is really low at 10 gold, so I need to watch my profit margins on Bountiful Feasts for that one. We're currently at, how many do I need? Frenzied Fangtooth, we need 73. So what kind of price have we got there? There's a few stacks here at 200, so that's where I believe someone's probably reset the market on these. Although my average buy price at 10 gold is definitely less. Region market average is 16. I'm always reluctant to buy huge amounts of these, but maybe if I get one at 29 and 58, that should be enough for my current needs. Let's buy one of those and one of those. And then Stringy Loins, we need 35 of those. That's not quite so bad. And that's 1 gold 49 is quite reasonable. So I'll probably just go and buy those now. And then Red Tail Loach is interestingly, Red Tail Loach is a bit cheaper. So we can maybe offset one with the other. 35 is my average, 25 is the min buyout. So actually, I think I'm going to see if I can buy more of these at this price. There's only 12 of them available at that price, unfortunately. And we just sold another Record of Versatility, so that's going well. And then 38 we're at here, so how many do I need left? I've got 70 there, so let's take the 50 and a 12. That should be enough, and then we'll go back and we'll just scan the last things we need, which will be Chalderai silk, which is for our tailoring. If there's any good prices here, we can take the 86 there. That should be enough. Okay, so that should be done. And we'll open up all of those. You just do stuff in WoW like transmog or farming for an hour with my chilling voice in the background. It's better than music. Oh, well, thank you very much, Creeptroll. Very kind of you to say so. Wonderful voices from wonderful people. Amazing for farming. Oh, thank you, Rose, as well. This is what I hope to do, really, is basically provide voices of gold in the background whilst you're doing your regular things. If that is useful, I hope it is. So enchanting crafts, are we still missing something? Tailoring, we can do the hexweave bag and the silkweave satchel. Those are done. We're missing one mysterious essence. We can get that quite easily. Swap back over to cooking for the bountiful captain's feasts. Now with my new purchasing prices, is that still a profit for me? let's have a look. Desserts, feasts, bountiful captain's feasts. Now that's actually saying a negative profit, unfortunately, because we bought something at a higher price. The frenzied fangtooth, I believe, has really, because there's 15 of those, that's affected our price. So we'll have a look at that, see if we can get that any higher. We're currently at 1,061 crafting cost. So we'll craft them anyway whilst we're here. I hear voices. Am I going crazy? Not at all. ASMR Goldmaker artist. Something along those lines. So we'll check those bountiful feasts. Hopefully, maybe we'll be able to put them on at a decent price. Let's just do enchanting whilst we're here. Now, mysterious essence I will get by doing I switch to the regular interface. And we'll do the mysterious essence from the spirit dust, because I get lots of those quite cheaply. So I'll just create one of those, and that should be enough, I think. Now we can close the task list now. Under crafting, we can make all of these. So Mark of Blackrock, Earth and Vitality, 4 Force multipliers. I'll just do all of those. For just over a month, but absolutely loving the community you have. Helping others is a nice atmosphere. Oh, thank you. It's very kind of you to say so, Rose. I find that with pretty much most gold makers is we all love to share techniques and are happy to talk about it. So I'm glad you found it useful. Community in WoW is the only reason you play. It's very supportive, isn't it, Darkwing? I very much find myself at home here. Right, so let's post those on. We'll have a look, though. Let's have a look at Bountiful Captain's Feasts and see what kind of price those are. So they're unlikely to come up. Oh, we've got them here. Normal price. Ah, this is good. There's actually none on the auction house at the moment. So we're posting at normal price. Let me just double check that, though. Shopping-wise. Where are my Bountiful Captain's Feasts? That's McDowell's, that's Bear Tartar. What does the icon look like? It's that one, isn't it? Okay, so yes, Bountiful Captain's Feast, actually, we're ignoring these ones. I've got these at 999, and then Midnight's got some others on at 999, so we could possibly reset the market on these. Between myself and Midnight, we're the only ones selling it. So I could potentially cancel mine, and then we've got another 8 there, and we could pop the price a little bit higher. So if I take this and go to my auctions, I mean, I'm not sure how much these will sell. I mean, sale rate wise they're okay. I'll rescan those now. So we've just got Midnight's on now, so that's 5, 6, 7, 8. Where's my sale rate? So my personal sale rate's 0.98. Region sale rate's right down there at 0.13. And you're done with your daily crafting. Fantastic. Oh, you'll cancel yours, Midnight. Okay, well, this is gold cooperation at its best. Fantastic. Midnight's doing the same, so we don't even have to buy Midnight's. But normally I would buy these as well, looking at the price of those. As long as you ignore trade chat for the most part. Yeah, I don't tend to look at trade chat a lot of the time. Collusion. Now sell and make some profits. You've just been lazy listing. I'm guilty of the same things, Midnight. We've got a monopoly going on now, definitely. Oh look, someone's doing the waste of time achievement. Death Silk Shoulders sold for 531. So what we'll do, actually, I'll post mine on at their normal price because they're ignoring them below that. Yes, there we go, waste of time, the other achievement there. Windwall Hood of the Fever Flare, that's another one. That's 1,500 for that. That's definitely good. Angry Avocado, thank you for the follow. Best name in WoW ever, definitely. And there we go, the third one has gone, the Netherweaved Tunic. So all of these are used in the waste of time, and that one was 1,200. Oh, and there we go, the fourth one. I forgot there was a fourth one. Frostwoven Leggings. So those 4 make up the waste of time that you need to buy, and I've managed to sell all 4 of those, which is really good. So let me just post on my auctions. I'm going to obviously have to relist those now. So let's go back. I think I'll just do a repost scan of these. Oh, is that Farmer True next to me? Let me hold on, there we go. Is that Decent Prices? I love the name, that's fantastic. You know what that means. You're going to have some cheap cloth in the auction house soon. Oh, fantastic, Farmer True. I welcome lots and lots of cheap cloth. There we go. So Bountiful's Feast will be posting on at 2,000. So that should be a nice price to put them on for. What was the achievement called again? It was Waste of Time. Literally waste as in spelt W-A-I-S-T of time. And you need 4 items for it that I make as a tailor. The Death Silk Shoulders, the Windwool Hood of anything, it doesn't matter, but the thing you've got to be careful of is the Windwool Hood has to be a green one and not a blue one. So if you accidentally craft a blue one, it's not going to sell for as well as the green ones in that situation. And then the Netherweave Tunic and the Frostwoven Leggings make up the set. I don't tend to have a lot of sales of them, but they do sell. It's a bit like the Shadowweave Mask. That's sold for me from anything between sort of like 5,000 and 45,000 gold for the Lucid mount. Can you make a community in-game? Be lovely with a chat in-game for gold makers. When you search gold making, nothing pops up in-game for you. Interesting. Yeah, it's something I could look into. I haven't got a community set up. I'm surprised there hasn't been one already. But I'll certainly look into that, Rose. That's certainly something that I'd find interesting. Right, so that's all on. That's nice and expensive. So let's have a look. That's everything on. All my cancels have come off. Let's post those on as well. You might as well. Go to that, run a post scan. Posting at my current price. And we might get some sales on that, you never know. And then obviously because of those waste of time achievements, I wonder if there's anything. Now, let me just check actually. One of these was going. I'm sure I had the Windwool Hood on here somewhere, but it must have gone on. Okay. I must have posted that on already. There are definitely a few, but so far nothing that is great. We'll have to have one for the Samadan's community, since this is a great gold making community. Oh, it's kind of you to say so, Speckett. Yeah, I'll look into that, certainly. So happy that tomorrow you'll have Mechagon on Exalted. Oh, fantastic, American Gamer. Does that mean that you'll get yourself flying? Oh, no, you don't need to do Exalted for that. But you can get one of the cooking recipes at Exalted, can't you? That's definitely worth it. And Spotify Spark, thank you for the follow. Yeah, the feast. Oh, not the feast. Okay. What else can you get? Oh no, that's Tortollans. Pardon me, I'm thinking of the wrong ones. There we go. You haven't been there since Revered. Yeah, I'm still. So it's both Alliance and Horde players can join. Oh, that could be interesting, Rose. Get a bit of both going in. I think reputation-wise, I am Rustbolt. I am at Revered 6,900 at the moment. Neil Keps, thank you very for the follow as well. Oh, it was correct. The new feast is Mechagon Exalted for rank 2. Ah, yes, okay. And rank 3 is dropped in the dungeon. Okay. There is a community called Gold Income, but it isn't very active. Okay. Well, it's definitely something worth looking into. Now, I definitely need to swap over to my other characters. So let's jump out of Samadan and go over to the Awakening, my Alchemist. Rank 3 can also be dropped in the Paragon chest. Oh, okay, Genie. That's useful to know. Does 8.3 have new feasts? It doesn't have new feasts, but it does have new food that's specific to the new sort of the visions, and it uses the new meat and the new fish that are coming out in 8.3. So it's not necessarily a replacement, but it does give you some specific buffs to do with corruption and horrific visions and things like that. So I think they're going to be more situationally used. You can mog my Worgen properly in 8.3. I could do with transmogging a lot of people properly in 8.3. I haven't shown you Samadan's latest transmog. It is quite the sight to behold with his latest chess piece. But first off, let's look at alchemy. So 26,000 in the mail. We haven't had a Silas proc in a good few days though, so we're definitely lacking on that front. So let's collect up all of this, 26,000. A bit of everything there. Unbridled Fury, Healing, Proximity. And let's see, I think my auction should be okay at the moment. Oh no, they're all about to expire. Tell a lie. So let's take all of these off. There we go. They're all off. I'll wait for that to come through. So you've got 6 seconds left on it. The race armor for walking is pretty cool. Yeah, that could be cool. Actually, I haven't done that yet. I did, unfortunately. Enchanting prices keep falling on your server. There's little point in selling enchants now. A core's around 400 gold and weapon enchants are 300. You just collect crystals for now. Not a bad idea. Can you sell the veiled crystals and get a decent money that way? That is always an option. But I'm finding the same with my enchants on this server, is they're not as good as they used to be. I'm still luckily able to get a profit at the moment. I have to wait till Shadowlands for your Pandaren Heritage armor. Oh yeah, that would be cool. I don't think there are new enchants, no. Right, let's get our alchemy bits and pieces on. So we're only sitting at 85,000 gold, so I spent a fair amount of this on a token earlier. So what have I got I can do? I've done my transmute already, so let's check if we can get a Silas proc if we're lucky. Nope, we're not. Transportation, so we'll have to stick with what we've got at the moment. Alchemy died on your realm. Used to make the craft alchemy transmute on all your tunes with that 300 gold per herb saving. You're not making any gold with it anymore. That's a shame. It's been a pleasure. Hope to pop by again on another stream. Oh, you're more than welcome, Mushi Panda. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you have a lovely rest of your evening and a very Merry Christmas to you as well. It's definitely better to sell crystals and dust. Yeah, you might as well. Obviously, Umbra shards are expensive to list at the moment, so maybe wait for 8.3 to come out. So I'm going to leave Awakening for the moment and just check our next character, which will be Earthen, which again is full of benthic transmog at the moment, and a few other bits and pieces. Razin, did I miss your follow? But if I did, welcome aboard. Hope you're doing well. Okay, so next on the list, Earthen. We have a load of Drums of Fury sales, and the Shimmer Scale that Samadan sent over, and 2,800 gold for Notorious Combatant legs. So Notorious stuff still selling. We'll pick that up. I think I'm going to have to relist my auctions though. Yeah, those are all going to expire as well, so we'll take those off. Nearly get everything off now. There we go, right. Okay, so only 155,000 on Earthen as well, so a lot of my characters are depleted on their gold. So we're going to try and work our way back up again, as I've done a lot of spending with getting the Shadowlands expansion. How do I set the TSM to use the scroll wheel? That is done in the settings under here. So you go to Traceable Master settings under here, and under macros here. Now I've got this set as to turn on cancels, buyouts, craft next, auctioning, post and cancel, and destroy next. Now I like to have the control key pressed down. This is the default way, and I've got it for both up and down on the scroll wheel. And you literally just click this button to create the macro at the bottom, and that should get it working for you. And when you do use the scroll wheel, you do have to make sure that your mouse cursor is off the window. So I don't tend to leave my mouse cursor in the middle of the mail, but I push it over to the side here in some empty space, and it just makes it easier. Not mail, I mean in the auction house window. With the mail, you can just simply press the cancels. And then we'll just let this all come through. Hopefully I've got enough space for it. Good evening, Mashi. How are you? Merry Christmas to you, nearly. I hope you're doing well this fine Sunday. Let's post all this lot on. We're literally just going through and posting everything on at the moment. A few things had expired, so we're going to restock. We're going to do some drums in a moment. Some drums of fury. We're going to need some. Is it possible to have my TSM strings? Yes, you're more than welcome. Ho Sam. Hey Lizard, how are you? Let me say paste bin. There we go. That paste bin link there will give you access to all of my current TSM settings. You're more than welcome to take a look and use them as you will. And Crooker 213, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Lizard hasn't woken you up. Okay. Morning to you, Crookers. How are you doing? How are we doing for bag space? We have 115, so we should be alright here. Let's take the cancels. Get rid of all of those. And then we'll post those on, and then we'll be ready to... leveling your alt here. Excellent. Good to know. I would like to get some more alts leveled up, but I'm still working on getting some reputation on Samadan, my rogue. Or leveling her alt. Oh, right. Now that's devotion, that is, right there. Okay, so everything's posted on. Let me just double check that. Yeah, everything's posted back on. Let's do a restock of my groups. So 100 drums of fury. We'll just let that run through. Now, is that still working, or will we just do one? Let's go back to the standard interface. Drums of fury. We can actually make 154 of these, so let's just click create all for now. And let this run through for the moment. 6 PM you struggled, you killed over. Shower's good, and a good 90-minute lap. That's a decent length for a nap, definitely. Yeah, the battlegrounds are really good for speed leveling. I really like them. 3 more alts below 90. Got to level them over the next few days. Should take about 15 hours game time total. That's not too bad, really, isn't it? Okay, giving it a shot. You bought 400 stacks of Tidespray at under 2 gold. There's still another 400 stacks. Wow, that's a lot, Slickrock. Good luck with your shuffles. It's quite a lot though to go through. Yeah, you can do it till the 8th of January. It's definitely worth doing. Now, looking at my characters, I've got my hunter, Bridget. She's about level 40, so it shouldn't take too long. Hey, Faris, how are you? Thank you. We've gone all festive today with the beard balls. You also shuffled over 100,000 this month. Yeah, it's been the time for shuffling. We want to make sure that when 8.3 comes out, we've got our Expulsum and all our enchanting mats ready. Especially, I think, Expulsum. If the Uncanny gear does sell, that will be useful. The beard must be itchy. No, it's not at all. When you first grow a beard, it does get itchy to start off with. But then after a while, you just get used to it, really. And lots of nice softening oil really helps as well. Love the Oreos. Yeah, they worked out quite well, I thought. His little... I did make his eyes a little bit bigger. He is with us. His camera may not be on, but if you look to my corner there, that little dark fluffy blob on the sofa is Oreo. This is my coffee. Hey Samadan, can you do some more videos on classic gold making? I would love to. I was thinking this earlier. I've really neglected classic this past month. I do apologise for that. When I've got some more time, I'd like to get myself up to level 35 and do a proper sort of look at tailoring on classic. One was saying, love the Euros. Little. What's that? You do the shuffle. If you do the shuffle, should you still craft the purple gear with Expulsum, or save the Expulsum until 8.3? It depends whether you think you're going to use that Expulsum for Uncanny gear and what kind of sales you got there. I would maybe do a bit of both. Make sure you've got a good stock of Veiled Crystals ready for enchants, but also make sure you've got a good stock of Expulsum as well, so maybe split between the two. Shame, you got no tools on enchanting or tailoring. Oh, they're definitely worthwhile, the tools of the trade. Seems like it takes a lot to groom and keep it clean all the time. It's not really. I'm fairly lazy when it comes to sort of grooming and things like that, but you know, a good shower and a decent shampoo condition and then oil afterwards is all it takes, really. Are there going to be new enchants? No, they're not at the moment. You got 300 veiled at the moment. Oh, that's definitely good. Yeah, there is some new food, as Liz had said, but it's not a replacement of the feast. It's going to be just like an accompaniment to the feasts, which is specific to the visions. So it's going to be interesting to see how that market sort of pans out. But I need to do the new feasts, actually, thinking about it. I haven't got myself a system setting up with those. But I'll definitely be interested in the new food as well. Using the questionable meat and things like that. Mr. Dismember TV, I'm doing very well, thank you very much. How about yourself? I can't yet. The food, yeah. As in, I don't play enough on Mechagon. This is true. The only thing I thought of was perhaps if I could buy the materials off the auction house, maybe I could find myself a profit there. That might work. Cheap Troll, thank you very much for the follow. Just use my sheet from the shuffle to check how much time you would need to get the long boy, and 451 hours came out. Oh right, just from doing the enchanting shuffle. Interesting. Oh, you already asked this on Discord, did you? Do you think the rune prices will rise at the start of the price? Is that from the Vantus runes? Because the new expensive rune requires a high reputation, doesn't it? Which we won't get straight away. I remember watching Hazel Nutty Games video on that. From 0 to 5 million. I would suggest diversifying rather than staying just on the shuffle. I think that could kill anyone, certainly. You got 176 veiled? Excellent. That's a good position to be in. Right, we've done all our drums. The augment runes, yes. Right, let's go through and post on our drums. I'll get those on. What are we doing profit-wise? 16 gold profit on those. That should be alright. In Legion, the runes are still sold even after the 50k repeatable one. Yeah, that's what I've heard as well. I've got a feeling it will, simply because it's quite an expensive thing to drop a lot on. Yeah, you're doing a shuffle, doing transmog rounds with students cooking, etc. Dual crafting is dead in your realm, which is sad. It is sad, but hopefully professions will have their ebbs and flows. What is the shuffle sheet? It's basically the Bracer Super Shuffle. Now, is it just shuffle, I think? Yes, that's the one. That's the link to it there. What's a Bracer Shuffle? Yes, Rasheen. It involves wearing a lot of braces. Oh, did I miss something, Mushy? What was the question? But did I update the Super Shuffle sheet with the new enchants? Yes, well, I haven't done... It should. Let me just hold on, click on this. Let's bring this on over. So this does have the Accords of Crit, Haste, Mastery and Versatility. So those are the new enchants there. But the thing my shuffle doesn't include is it's only looking at the Honourable braces, the Leather braces and the Mail braces. It's not looking at the Sinister or the Notorious ones. So it is updated to have the new ones, the Force Multiplier, the Naga Hide, Oceanic Restoration, and it's the same in the calculation ones down here for the profit and loss calculations. That's all there. But if you do use this and you're looking at the Honourable braces as your cheapest one, like here for example, Honourable Leather Bracer is 96 gold. I would also look at the Sinister Bracer and the Notorious Bracer, and they may be cheaper to make. Still stick with this, as this will give you a decent string here, but you may even be able to get it cheaper. So that's worth bearing in mind anyway. Oh, you lost the URL to the shuffle. Oh, okay, I'll pop it back in again. Diurl, thank you very much. Good night. Merry Christmas to you. I hope you have a lovely Christmas. Sinister can be cheaper. It all depends on the prices on your server. Use your tooltip for crafting. On say for instance, we look at my crafting cost here. So Honourable Combatants Leather Arm Guards at the moment have a crafting cost here of 165, whereas Sinister Combatants, oh no, Mail. Let's look at Mail actually. Where's Honourable? Honourable Mail Arm Guards. There we go. So that has a crafting cost of 149. Sinister Mail Arm Guards has a crafting cost of 142, and Notorious Mail Arm Guards has a crafting cost of 122. So out of these, it's actually cheaper for me to make the Notorious Combatants Mail Arm Guards, but it also depends on what stocks you have, whether it's Cragscale, Bloodstained Bones or Misscale, or whether, in my case, I've still got a lot of Hardened Tempest Hide left over, so I want to use that up. So I'd probably use Sinister Combatants. So it all depends, really, on what you've got a lot of and what's cheaper for you. Kajos, hi to you. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for the follow. And also Expandable76, thank you for the follow. And did I miss you, Malix? But if I did, thank you for stopping by. Any quick and lazy way to make a token's worth of gold? Quick and lazy, it all depends on what's fun for you, really. And it depends on what you define as quick, really, more than anything else. Vampire, thank you for the follow. And Zy Mystical, hi to you, hope you're doing well. Thanks for stopping by. We're just going through and restocking all our characters at the moment. We've done Earthen, so I need to go on over to El Norte, my other alchemist, who does the transmutes. And we'll go over here. As in, you looked and failed to find it. Oh, okay. Do you want me to put the link in again, Shuffle? That one for the Shuffle. Now made your own copies, probably lose it again when you get the fresh version. Oh, right, fair enough. So if you buy Tidespray at the right price, you can get a token roughly an hour a day with the Bracelet Shuffle. That's possible, but also it's not necessarily quick, and it's also not necessarily the most interesting way of making your gold. But it is certainly possible. Oh, there we go. Some more Living Steel and Wild Jade has sold. So we'll take that. Another 7,000 gold there. We'll probably need to restock on these though. Let's have a look. Are my auctions... Yep, they're about to expire, so let's take those off. And then how much do we have Living Steel? I'll just check that in a moment. Let's do a reload on that, see if that goes through. 14 minutes to deal with 1,000 Tidespray. That's pretty good, actually. I had it as in to have the end products to sell. That's actually quite good. I think I had it... oh, you got it as Tidespray, yes, because I got it as 100 braces is about 13 minutes, yeah. Not to mention you need a load of Tidespray as well, at the right price, exactly. I sold 4 living steel for 4k-ish. Living steel goes for 300 on your realm. Yeah, living steel is really good. It's not a massive seller, but it does... basically all the gold I have here, 191,000, is pretty much through living steel sales. So I'll go through and I'll just check. What have we got? We've got all... This is all basically for the Panther and anything to do with Pandaria alchemy transmutes, because I'm also a miner and a transmute master alchemist on this character. So where's my living steel gone? Let me just search it. There it is. So I've got 13 at the moment. I could probably do with another 10 or so. So what I'll do here is have a look. Is there any cheap motes or spirits of harmony? I'll have a look at that first. So it is the same as, yeah, you're right, Mushy. Living steel in your service 1500. That's a good price, definitely. So mote of harmony at 16 gold is definitely worth buying. And spirit of harmony is under... It's under 200, which is good. 171 isn't too bad. So I'll take all of these motes that are 16 gold. And we'll take that 11 there. And then I might leave... And then I'll take that one as well. And then the Spirits of Harmony, 17. So 10 motes of harmony is 1 Spirit of Harmony. So at 170 odd gold, we could probably take all of the ones up to that point. 25 there, 2 there. Then I'll also want to have a look at Golden Lotus, which should be half the price of Spirits of Harmony, and it's currently at 112, so that's expensive. And everything else I'm going to leave. Trillium Bar, even though it's 222 here, my crafting cost is much less than that, so I'm going to leave that off for the moment. Only 200 gold on your server. Oh, that is cheap. So Moody, the island mog, is cloth. You can't use it on your main. Oh, right. The top hat would be amazing. What's the island mog? Is that... It's just from Island Expeditions. I thought there'd be transmog for everything, but maybe that's my misunderstanding. Oh, the Duskhaven one. Oh, okay. You're going to be a potato farmer, make more gold with that than living steel. Right, so let's go over here. We're looking at Ghost Iron Ore is probably the cheapest way I can get it, is using my Spirit of Harmony here. So what I'm going to do is buy 20 Ghost Iron Ore with my 1 Spirit of Harmony. How much Spirit of Harmony have I got left? 112. So let's look at this. Cancel that. Let's go to the standard one. Ghost Iron Ore. So the maximum I can purchase is with 2,200. I don't want to make that many, so let's go with 162, 362. Let's go with 562. 3 stacks. I'll go with that at the moment. Really hope they make professional items relevant again. Doesn't feel worth crafting armor pieces, as the high level are soulbound and the rest are just trash eye level. Yeah, I've got mixed feelings about this. It is what it is at the moment. It would be nice if it was a little bit more competitive with the profession gear, but it still is possible to make gold with the gear in its current state. So we're going to make ghost iron here. So we're going to smelt all of this. I'm having a hard time getting over the cost of flipping mats. You know that you could get 1.2 thousand per stack if you buy now and sell during the week, but spending 15,000 on 6 stacks seems like you're stepping backwards to the 5 million mark. It all depends really, Valkyrie, on how much gold you have. Once you have more gold, it seems less of a sort of dent in your resources to spend more gold. So certainly getting to that first million mark is a big milestone. Once you can get that, then it works. What add-on that lets you choose the buy amounts like that? That one is called, now I always mix it up, there's two different add-ons I've got. I think it's called bulk buy, that allows me to choose between stacks and maximum. And there is also the option in the TSM interface to do it differently, but I like to use bulk buy because it has the max button and the stack button. Are herbs going to go up in price? Well, I've got a feeling that people are going to be stockpiling a lot of their herbs at the moment, so they may even crash. But then once everyone's used up their stock, when the new raid comes out and people are eating up all of the consumables, then I've got a feeling the prices will rise up again. So I think my opinion is that prices are going to be quite volatile, and it'll be a question of keeping a close eye on it and buying them when they're cheap, or relatively cheap, and see what we get. Oh, it's buy 'em all, is it? I knew it was one of the two. It was either buy 'em all or bulk buy. Thank you, Wave. Avenue Philanthropist, thank you very much for the follow. This week you've reinvested around 150,000 in mats. It just seemed like Draenor Experience Crafting was more fun and much more worth crafting when you could craft almost raid level gear, even if you could only equip 3. Yeah, I think I didn't really experience Draenor professions at the time, but having looked back at them now, yeah, that could be useful, definitely. Merry Christmas, Chewy, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Most herbs in your server are 2 gold each. Wow, that's super cheap. There are panics on some servers already, people dumping. Yes, that's the thing, Darkwing, isn't it? Is just keep a calm head and don't rush into buying or selling. Patience is key here, definitely. What items do I think are worth trying to perform a flip with around the drop of 8.3? I wouldn't know exactly, but what I would suggest is keep a close eye on the news. Keep your ear to the ground when it comes to both the gold making community and the WoW community in general. If people are saying, oh, you need this for this or X for Y or something like that, then look into what that needs and what feeds into that and see if there's money to be made that way. You love that you know exactly what's been in bulk on your auction house. Buy all also has a stack max. Fill your bags with, and you can click the number to write a specific number. Oh, okay, thank you, Rose. You made your first 2 million in Draenor. Oh, right, excellent. Yeah, I always get confused with the two add-ons. I've got both of them on, bulk buy and buy 'em all. I can never remember which one gives me the actual thing I need, which gives me the max and the stack. I raise rather many more goblins that they don't just buy the bulk, so you can still buy low. Yeah, it is interesting, isn't it? Is that some people will literally just buy what they need rather than buy when it's buy like a large amount when it's a good price. It might be a short time from jump during the first week or two, but then they'll keep declining. It's possible. There will always be a general trend downwards in prices, I think. But then you've got 4 guild banks to store it in, exactly. That's the main thing, isn't it? One of the reasons why items are at level is because Blizzard went the gold model for subbing tokens, which also mean all the gear is awesome, but high level will be the same as pay to win advantage. I'm not sure, Wave, whether that's necessarily the motivation or the reason it's done that way. You know, some people that bought bulk, the skipping of Are You Sure is the best part of Buy It All when you spend 2,000 Savage Blood. Yes, that Are You Sure message was the main reason I started looking for something. I know TSM does do it itself as well, without the use of any other add-ons. Wow, you got 20 to 30 millions worth of Zenithid. That's a decent amount, certainly. Kurtuk, thank you very much for the follow. And Kapokazi, thank you also for the follow. What you found for gold making is having more info is generally going to help you make more gold. Exactly, yes. Also, a lot of things you can do, like creating spreadsheets and stuff. Yes, we do love a good spreadsheet here, certainly. Created one that essentially tells you what you should farm every day for the best return. Excellent. Don't know what you're talking about. Anyone having issues with TSM not allowing you to collect mail? No. Have you got any other add-ons on Vampire? Or is it missing a few enchants? Is it mushy? Which ones? You do as well. Oh wow, Bacon Bits, thank you very much. 5 months. Thank you very much for your support. How are you doing, Bacon Bits? Hope you're doing well. Merry Christmas to you. Thank you for your support. See a whole load of emotes for Bacon Bits, who is also an awesome streamer as well. Shout out to Bacon Bits. I've got your name right. Yep, there you go. And Nars Hammy, thank you very much for the follow. Just trying to collect auctions. Okay, interesting. Merry Christmas. You're doing much better and finally getting a good night's sleep. Ah, that's good to hear. And Merry Christmas to you as well. Go to your add-ons and disable TSM Mail. Because TSM Mailing shouldn't be a separate add-on. That was from the old TSM 3. Try LVI Shadow and Light. I think that was your problem. Oh, okay. Thank you for the help on that one. Total Master is one line in your add-on tab. What do you mean by that, Rose? Yeah, I don't use LVI myself. I only have a relatively small number of add-ons. Probably have TSM stuff still installed. It's possible. Oh, add-ons, right, okay. Delete all add-ons with TSM besides TSM and TSM App Helper. Yeah, that's the only two you should really need to have on. I'll show you in here in a moment once I've gone through all of this. Because the old TSM 3 legacy ones used to be lots and lots of different add-ons. Just waiting for this last bit to smelt through. Right, okay, so go through here. So yes, add-ons wise, so in terms of TSM, there should be just Trade Skill Master and the App Helper, should be the only two really. Right, so we've smelted all of that. Let me just go into my alchemy now, and we're going to transmute trillium bars out of those ghost iron bars. So we'll create all of these. And hopefully with our Transmute Master, we might get a few procs. There's a ×2 already, so that's good. Also haven't seen this being talked about a lot, but if you have a character with heart level 70, almost all sources of AP will give you gold instead. Yes, I have heard that fail to reap. And then obviously once it's being capped at 80, is it 80 or 85? That's the next thing, isn't it? Then it will also give gold. Oh, thank you. Hello, Octoberly. Best festive beard you've seen. Oh, thank you very much. We have gone very festive today, as it is very nearly Christmas. The baubles are out. But thanks for stopping by, and thank you for the cheer. Oh, you mean those 4 enchants? Oh, which ones did I miss? Those 4 add-ons. Okay, I'll have a look, Mushy, and see which ones I've missed on there. Token cost about 220, say awesome raid. Item was crafted. Was for 40k. That's $40 in tokens, and you need 15 slots filled. That's 600 fills of the gear. Ashalina, how are you? There goes your pro lurking. No problem. Good to have you here. Hope you're doing well. Transmute Riddle of Steel. We can do 11 of those, so I'll just run through those. Running low on Spirits of Harmony now, so this is probably the last time I can do this. Next time I want Ghost Iron Ore, I'm going to have to go out and farm it myself. Good evening, Game Cat Cat. How are you? Thanks for stopping by. Have I started preparing for 8.3 to make gold? My only real preparation is trying to get more characters up to do their professions. So we're currently looking at Inscription at the moment. I'm doing a terrible job at the moment because I'm spending all my time doing this and talking. I've not gone on to Samadan to progress his Inscription, but nevertheless, we'll see what we can do. Spirit of Harmony is 40 gold here. Someone's selling their stocks. That's a very good price to buy that up, certainly. Right, so we've made a whole load of living steel. We should be able to pop that on. And we've got all the Spirit of Harmony we bought, actually, and some motes we can make use of. So that's good. And then we'll post on the living steel that we just made. And then the other bits and pieces that we cancelled out of. So living steel should go on for 1,197. That's a reasonable enough price. Slightly higher would be nicer, but it's still a profit for us, given our Motes of Harmony and Spirits of Harmony price is about 150. I might have to take Cecile's tooltip off, actually, because I don't want to give anyone fits with all that going on. So let's just turn that off. There we go, just in case. I'm going to reload the UI on that one. 4,000 World Quest rewards, mysteries, of course, a reward from the weekly island quest, and the mission you get will give you always 5k gold for the transmog one. So it's a decent chunk of gold, really, isn't it? If you can get your heart up to that level, it's definitely worth doing. Your Riddle of Steel is 800 gold to craft, and the Living Steel only gives you 300 gold. Ouch. Okay. Jimmy says, hi, how are you? Do I have my operations to import anywhere? I certainly do. You're more than welcome to take my paste bin, which is there, and it's all split by profession and per character. Also, people would rather a little more active on farming. You can earn 30 to 40k per character per week from ward raids if you do all 12 from normal, heroic, mythic, 3 raids. Yes, just by simply vendoring the gear and the raw gold you can get from that. It's certainly worth doing if you've got a mind to do it, certainly. No problem, Jimmy. Right, okay, so let's have a look at Samadan. Now, fair warning, I do apologise for his transmog. He picked up a new tunic the other day, and this is what he looks like, unfortunately. I haven't transmogged anything else on him. And Merry Christmas to you as well. But yes, he's looking rather fine in his latest outfit. He could do with the onesie, yeah, definitely. He could do with something. But basically with Samadan, what I've been doing, so for my Inscription and for my next profession, which will also probably be dual crafting as well, just mog my beard onto him, that would be good. Maybe 3 hours if you go, but just pop on music and you're a demon hunter. Yeah, exactly. If you just run through it with something in the background, it's definitely worth doing. Albina Oprah, thank you very much for the follow. So what I've been doing is going through the war campaign at the moment. Gold-wise, we are currently just at 10,000 gold. This is through doing either emissaries or just general questing to try and get my reputation up. We are currently sitting at honoured with 7th Legion through doing the war campaign, which I wanted to get first because then I can start levelling up the Inscription with the contracts. So that was my first thought. And then the others, I'm basically going to just look at the map. And so we've got things like the Alliance War Effort for the gold amount has been done. Order of Embers, what does that give me at the moment? An item level 390. But we can go hand this one in, the Alliance War Effort. So I'm going to finish off this part of the war campaign, and then I'll head back, I think. So what have we got here? Operation Blood Arrow, let's view that quest. Return for that. And then talk to... Have I done all of this? Where do I need to go next? All the way over to there for the Tortuga Refuge flight path. Okay. Where's the scroll of flight? Okay, interesting. Programmer tip: get 3 Azurite items with Long Strider and some Bear Tartar. Yeah, that's for a speed boost. That's definitely worth doing. Using the contract can be useful to speed up the process as well. Yes, that's a good point, Game Cat Can. As an Inscription person, I really should be using contracts myself. I haven't actually got that done. I did think of that earlier, and I was thinking, hang on, I'm not doing this with any contracts in place. And as an Inscription person, this is exactly what I'd want to do. So let me just check. Winds Redemption in Borealis Harbour. Return to Jaelina at Borealis Harbour. Okay, so that's all doing that, but this is actually telling me to talk to Scroll of Flight over here. So we'll go and do this, but what we'll do is, rather than do all of this all the way up here in this flight path, we're going to fly along here, and we're going to actually see if we can get some herbs along the way. 3.5 million. Enklin, how are you? And what path do I follow to get my alt tunes up to date with professions? So it all depends on what profession it is. At the moment, I'm currently just leveling up through a few basic quest things here. So my first thing to do on Samadan here was to get to level 120, which I did using Korik's Revenge, which was really quick. And then since then, I've been going through and doing some of the quest lines, like the War Campaign, Drustvar and Terragard Sound. And then what I would do with the profession to get it leveled up is I'm using wowprofessions.com to follow their guide. But also, with this particular character, I'm trying to use the gold that I've got here as a without borrowing any gold from anyone else, to see what it's like, basically. And I can tell you, it's a lot slower when you can't just throw a load of gold at something. What's that in there? Okay, let's carry on here. Maybe include a fourth option to get Veil Crystals. Umberwood. Not taking into account any shots. Oh, okay. That's loads. Wow. Fourth option to get Veil Crystals with the Umber Expulsum. Yes, that's a good point, Mushy. I haven't added that one in. I really ought to. Right, let's just go down here. Let's pick that up. And then we'll fly north. And we'll get some herbs along the way as we go. I'm not sure why we need that flight path, but I might as well just tick it off as we got it. So the main thing I need from the War Campaign was Reputation. That was the first thing I was doing. Because I'm going to be wanting to make contracts with Inscription. So it depends on the profession and what reputations it needs. With Inscriptions, I was thinking, okay, well, let's see what I can do in terms of reputation. And so that was my first thought, was to get my 7th Legion reputation up first, and then the rest will follow after that. That was the plan anyway. Chicks420, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. You changed your name from Death Arrow. Everyone's changing their names. It's hard to keep on top of. But welcome, Chicks, and your new name. Hope you're doing well. Nice beard. Thank you very much. We're going full festive today. We're just on our way. I'm using Zygor to help me just run through the War Campaign. I'm not sure exactly why it wants me to do this flight path, though. As I've got flying anyway, it's probably not needed. But I'll use this as an opportunity to gather some herbs along the way. Now, where's that one? That should be here, but it's not. There it is, hiding behind there. At least I can get some star moss and various other bits and pieces, which is going to help with my Inscription anyway. I've got most of my herbs at rank 3 now. I haven't got Anchorweed yet. Up to rank 3. Still working on that one. Got hit there, that doesn't help. But I'm at a decent enough item level now that this shouldn't matter too much. And then a little bit of gold at the same time isn't too bad. This looks like a fairly mob heavy area, so I'll just run my way through this. That's a setting you can change. I prefer flight paths or something along those lines. Ah, that's a good point actually. Last time I was here, Samadan was just born. Time flies. I'm really enjoying playing this rogue. Actually, going through doing quests and being able to sneak past things is really, really good fun. I've had lots and lots of fun with him. It's definitely turning out to be one of my favourite ults at the moment. So let me just have a look here in the settings. Right click to configure. So I want to... What do I want to do? Navigation, travel system, take flights automatically, no. Use Hearthstone, use spell portals, guide menu, use checkmark, number of recent guides to follow, suggest guides, no. Gear advisor, item scoring, golden auctions, enhancements, profiles. I can't see anything that's got anything that tells me about enable ones of these. Like to turn off about the scroll of flights. I have to have a look at that in a bit more detail later. Complete enchants without failed. Yorkshire House runs out of step 3 materials. Yeah, that's the problem, is running out of mats on the other steps, isn't it? I can see this step is probably not needed. Discover flight paths. But we'll add this in anyway. And then talk to Joseph Redfield. What's that down there? That's Riverbud. Okay, we'll take some of that whilst we're here. And the next one is to go all the way over here and collect that one up. Okay, navigation travel systems prefer flight paths. Okay, let's have a look. Oh no, that's the wrong button. That one, navigation, travel systems. Preview control duration. Where's prefer? Use travel system for directions. Find route and direction. Use Hearthstone. Use misc items. Use Garrison Hearthstone. Use Dalaran Hearthstones. Travel comfort preference. Choose your preference between routes, fast or comfortable. Fast routes may be complex. They'll have you teleport to another continent. Comfortable will be easier. Okay. Oh, yours looks different. Okay. Interesting. I wonder why it's different. Duration preview control. I don't have everything else other than this, really. But maybe it's part of the guide anyway. No problems, Mr. Dismember. It's good to look at these things anyway, just in case. I'm gonna do these anyway, because I like to follow the route and I'll pick up some herbs along the way. Bone Arrow, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Hope you're doing well. We're just on a little bit of a herbalism jaunt at the moment. Now, where are those herbs? There's one over there. If we can get here without getting into too much trouble. And then the same down here. Get some sea stalk, and then we'll carry on down here. Nice to go on a few detours. This is pretty much what Kuhn does, but I do it slightly less efficiently. And we're just going to follow this over here and pick up the flight path. And just to tick off a few boxes, really. And get ourselves some herbs, which we're going to use for our inscription later. So we're just collecting things up at the moment. So you make 200 stock expulsum on Leatherworker. Buy everything affordable for step 2. When you run out of Veiled, you go for the Umbra to Veiled. If that's before you hit 2,000 Umbra. Yeah, the thing about getting the extra Umbra, it does help, doesn't it? Being able to revert to that method, certainly. Right, what have we got around here? Nothing visible yet. So I probably need to add in that Umbra step, certainly. As an option on the shuffle, certainly. Do a Christmas event on 2 8-man teams. Oh, fantastic. That's a good way to get through it, certainly. Is that the garrison event? Doing all the daily quests and things. Right, so this flight path we hadn't picked up. So I'll pick that one up. So now you want to go on this one. This is interesting that it's wanting me to go through all these at the moment. I wonder if it's something to make it more efficient before you fly back and pick up your next thing, perhaps. Something to do before you get flying. Maybe I'll need to speak to them about their guide and say, can you change it so that you don't need to pick up the flight path if you've got BfA flying? Maybe that would be something to update. Yeah, 60 savage boxes already, every 3 days or so. Excellent. Even heard of people that craft 1,000 bracers, sell greens to vendor. Craft thousands of bracers, sell greens to vendor, and disenchant the blues. Yes, this was a post we went through on the Reddit. Oh, we don't need to go here, actually. Is there anything we can do here? No. We're just following the flight path, as it were. Yeah, the Umbral Rons, that's it. Yeah, I got those mixed up. Oh, there we go. Achievement earned, explore Nazmir. That's easily done. Can we get a chest here? Is that easy? No, it's surrounded by mobs. We'll leave that. We'll get this, though. And then there's another one down here. We'll pick this up. Nice bit of casual herb farming. Always works wonders. Especially now that I'm rank 3 in a lot of these. It's nice to get a decent return on them, certainly. Yeah, the one vendor's for 74 gold. I did hear a rumour, I haven't confirmed it though, that the one sells for more on Horde characters than it does on Alliance. Like it sells for 90 odd gold on Alliance. I don't know that for sure though. I don't know if anyone's confirmed that. $68.73. Okay. Is that with Exalted? Because I'm not on Samadan, who's Alliance, but he's also not Exalted yet either. Yeah, it helps to have Exalted. Right, we're just working our way through. It's not a rank craft, no it isn't, it's just a basic craft as it is. I love this area. I saw this guy fighting a T-Rex the other day and I thought that was great. Not fighting T-Rex, fighting a Triceratops. That was fantastic. Just to see those sort of things happening in the world. Where's that? It's over there. We'll pick that up. It's worth doing if, I mean, it's not as much gold, but it's worth doing if you don't want to sit at the scrapper for too long. But it does take a long time still, and it does avoids the scrapper and it avoids the auction house, just using the vendor in the wands. Yeah, the dinosaurs are absolutely fantastic. I mean, that was the whole passion really, getting the Brutasaur mount, because of the dinosaur really more than anything else. Right, I don't think... I've probably already picked this up, actually. From looking at this, I might have already been here already. So it means disenchanting greens till you go crazy. It does. That is the downside to it. So it doesn't avoid the tedium. It just is a different tedium, if you see what I mean. Okay, there was another one over here. And then we'll head over this way. Did you know that you can still delete individual items from the ledger in TSM4? I did not know this. This sounds interesting. Ah, there we go. Does this one we need to pick up? We'll pick it up anyway whilst we're here. Just in case we need these flight paths. But this is mainly just a convenient way of me to find some herbs more than anything else. So I'm trying to do more than one thing in one go. So whilst travelling isn't really getting me a lot of gold, picking up the herbs is, but I'm also ticking things off in my list of things to do, and just looking out for things like a treasure chest here and there, if I can find it. Where is it? Is that it under there? Here it is. Get some extra war resources, and then the herbs when we can find them. And there was another one over this way I remember seeing. Lots of things to pick up on the route, which is always nice. Makes for a nice pleasant part of the journey more than anything else. So we've done this, we did that one already, and then Seeker's Outpost. I'm not sure where this one actually is. I'm probably going on a merry chase around here. Yeah, I think I've done this one already. I should probably just tick this off as complete, but we'll just double check just in case. Open ledger, expense search, click open, and shift right click to delete. Oh, okay, that's good to know. Thank you for sharing that one. It didn't test since you're on TSM 3, but handy TSM notebook, yeah, definitely. It's good for those rogue entries that you don't want anymore, certainly. Right, looks like there's a good few herbs over here. Really don't like selling Umbra shards on the auction house. Just need a way to get rid of that. Exactly. So using the Honourable Combatant Sceptre is the only way I've really thought of at the moment. I've tried selling stacks of 200 Umbra on the auction house, but it doesn't really sell for that much. Maybe with 8.3 we will have better luck with that, because we can do partial stacks, and hopefully the posting cost won't be so high as well. Hold on, we need to land again. Yeah, that's better. And where's that? Oh, we're right behind you, is it? Managed to get out of that, okay. There's another one over here. There's loads of herbs over here. Let's go somewhere a little bit less busy, actually. There's almost too many mobs around here, and so let's carry on instead. There we go. Okay, so this is what we came here for. Let's collect that. Okay, so next one, we're doing a big old route round here, and so we want to discover the Scale Trader Post flight path, which is... oh, that's all the way up there. That's very inefficient, having me go backwards, back up along here. I'm sure I've done that one. So I'm going to mark that as complete. And the Nezingwari one, we're going to ignore all of this. I've had enough of going all around there. Okay, so now we're going back to Borealis, which is much better. So let's just Hearthstone back, that'll be easiest. Still have 140 stacks bid on Tidespray. Well, that should be good, a nice bid amount. You've been feast farming parts and viperfish. Yep, that's a good idea, Bow and Arrow. It was 1 and 2 WoW Economy Discord. Funny part is, found it like 15 minutes after Savo told him there wasn't an option for it. Oh right, okay, interesting. It's one of those weird things that in TSM you just don't always know sort of like the keyboard shortcuts for everything. Right, so where are we here? Who have we got to talk to here? Is there one in here? What's this one? Supplies needed, Storm Silver. Okay, we don't need that one just yet, but we will go over and hand in our quest over here and finish off that part of the war campaign. There we go, Operation Blood Arrow, complete that. Okay, so that's most of it done. I don't want to keep on doing this, but we do need to hand in the Alliance War effort to get ourselves our extras here. That was gold, wasn't it, as well, I believe? Yes, so 2,000 gold coming from this. This was definitely worth doing. So let's do that. So 2,000 gold. And then let's have a look at... what have we got here? So 12,000 gold now. Let's sell our junk. Oh no, let's use this one. To browse your goods. Sell trash, sell all of those, just those missing ones as well. Okay, you don't want that one. Shipping contract of questionable legality. Oh, we needed that for a quest, I think. Although it's now marked as junk, so maybe not. Okay, so... Okay. Yeah, no, crafting cost for the ones is 241 gold. Which ones is that? Is that the honourable ones? Or the umbral ones? Cost to gloom is 1 to 20. Or 1.68. Okay. I made so much gold for fishing the first month of BfA. You're fairly sure you want to save up the gold for 1 or 2 more accounts for Shadowlands and spend the first 2 weeks fishing on that too. Yeah, exactly. If you love fishing, then it's definitely worth looking into. Oh, the Enchanter's Umbral Wand. Okay. So, my next decision now is looking at where we're at with Inscription and everything here. So we have some gold on us now, 12,000 gold, and we have a reasonable supply of herbs that I picked up. Let me just organise this a little bit better. Let's go into plugins, no, filters, TSM, and let's turn on the herbs, BfA herbs. Let's do all of them actually, because then we can split them all quite nicely. Close that. So now my WOD herbs are all here, and all my BfA herbs are here, and we have a reasonable amount of all of those. I could probably do with my pigments and inks, could do with probably being in a separate section yet. We don't have anything for that yet. We need to look at what we need to do next in terms of our inscription. So looking at where we're at currently 71 out of 75. We have a few different bits of mass milling we could have done here. Now I believe I need to have a look at WoW Professions for Inscription to see where it said to take me next. WoW Professions, let's go over here. So I'm using this for my profession leveling. So wowprofessions.com. So profession leveling guides, we're looking at Inscription. So we're currently going through, and we did ourselves up to 150, then 50 to 80 was to use the mass mill, and then at 80 to 85 we can make War Scrolls, Battle Shout, if you don't want to mill herbs. So we do have some herbs, so let's get ourselves to 80 or 85. Let's have a look at that. So using mass mill on that will be our next option here, as those are yellow. Brain farts happening. You're still trying to get your head around it. Is that for the Umbral ones? It is. I think it's worth trying, but do it on a good sort of set of numbers and see if you can get some return values on it. I haven't fully tested it myself, but it's worth investigating if nothing else. So we've got a few things here. We do have a lot of Siren's pollen on us at the moment, which we managed to get for a reasonable price, 4 gold 89 at the moment, its current price, although my purchase price is 6 gold 91. So let's mass mill some of these, see if we can get ourselves up to 80 or 85. Here goes the, now it's turned green, at 75. So this is going to be slower, certainly. We've still gone up to 77 though. So we're getting a decent amount of pigment from this. And then I might do that War Scroll Battle Shout. Right, okay, so we're now 80, so those mass mills have gone. So Battle Shout. Excuse me. Says your cost price for Umbra is 1260. That's pretty cheap. You may have to play with the weighting a little bit. What's your veiled and gloom dust, and how does it compare with your market prices? There is no gold in inscriptions, so you can just stop now. There is this. I'd need to do Legion inscription as well, but I would like to get every single profession. That's my wrong button. That's my next goal here, is because I've got everything else, I want to make sure I want inscription, I want jewel crafting, I want blacksmithing, and I want engineering. So I want to know all the professions, and I want to know which ones are all going to work. Your 200k over a month from WoD Inscription disagrees. Yeah, I think the older expansion inscriptions definitely worth it, but I'd like to have a look at the BfA side of things first. You're farming Anchor Week 2, so plenty of winter to mass mill for ink. So we need, let's have a look at what we need here for the battle shout. So we need light parchment and crimson ink. And so the crimson ink comes from, where does that comes from? Crimson ink is here. We make from our crimson pigment and our distilled water. So we can create at least some of these, I think. So it's still got a decent crafting cost. There's no point in buying it. So we'll make that at the moment. We can do that. Has it just brainwalled on waiting? Yes, the waiting is a confusing one, definitely mushy. I can't find a decent way of sort of explaining it really. But let me go through it, because it is, I'll show you my thinking on it, because it is a little bit of a weird one. So let's just swap on over and bring up the shuffle sheet. Okay. So, say for example here, let's have a look here. Let's make this a little bit bigger so I can see it. So I want to put in the prices for sort of like Tidespray linen and the DB market price and everything like that. Okay, so we'll put in your prices here. So Tidespray linen 1.5 is your price. That's really cheap, 1.5. DB market is 3, and so I'll put that in here. So this is basically the process that I would go through every now and again. When it comes to weighting, it's very much a it's more of a sort of it doesn't matter too much, because it all adds up to the same number. That's the main thing. That's the 30,000 you bid on every 48 hour. Very nice, very nice. Anything other than glyphs you're doing to make money with WoD Inscription? It'd be interesting to know that, certainly. Okay, so looking at this, let's assume all the other prices are the same. Oh wow, Assyrian gifting 5 subs, that's amazing. Thank you very much. That's incredibly kind of you, Assyrian. Merry Christmas to you, and thank you for your amazing support. That's absolutely brilliant, thank you. Let's see, lots of chat, lots of emotes in the chat, and if you are one of those lucky people who got gifted a sub, be sure to post some emotes in the chat as well. That's incredibly kind of you, thank you. And Fail to Reap, thank you also for the follow. That's incredibly kind. Week 5 of tracking your cards are in. You're not opened 34 cards with total value of 104. You said this before, but you're truly the Bob Ross of goblins. Well, it's still very kind of you to say so, and thank you for your support. It really is appreciated. Didn't get the sub, but you definitely appreciate the support for Sam. Oh well, thank you, Speckett. You don't make any glyphs. Interesting. Oh, this is for You're doing the cards, isn't it, Rose? That's right. So if I was to look at weighting, let's go through this with Mushy at the moment. So the weighting is a strange one because let's say for the purposes of this exercise, the DB market price for Umbra Shards is 18 gold, Gloom Dust is 6 gold, and Veil Crystals is 169 gold. What I'm trying to do here is get a balance of figures that are about the same. So my Gloom Dust down here is 1.66 from Disenchanting Greens in bulk, but my value for Gloom Dust up here is 4.15. But also I'm looking at the DB market price of 6.34, so I'm thinking that's roughly about okay. It's roughly in the same sort of ballpark. It's slightly less than the DB market prices, which is what I'm aiming for here. And then Umbra Shards, I'm looking at this price here, which is 12 gold, and the DB market price is 18 gold. But I really want to balance off Umbra Shards here and the Umbra Shards that I get through Disenchanting Honourable Bracers. So this is 21 gold and this is 12 gold. So I'll be looking at those two figures and trying to maybe balance those so they're roughly the same, at the same time as trying to keep them underneath the DB market price. In addition to this, I'll be looking at the Expulsum price and the Veiled Crystal price. So the Veiled Crystal price, I don't get many Veiled Crystals this way, which is why it's in light blue. The actual Veiled Crystal price I'm really looking at here is the 38 gold, and comparing that with this one here. So it doesn't really matter too much. What I tend to do is try and balance my Umbra Shards as best as possible. So in order to get the Umbra Shards here higher, I would actually just increase the weighting. So this is currently 6, I'd maybe increase that to 7. And then you can see the numbers changing there. So it's going up to 13 in that box there and down to 20 in the other one. So maybe if I just up that again to 8, and you have a look and see what the numbers do. So it's now 15 and 19. So if I change this to 10, so now we're 17 and 18. So this Umbra price here and this Umbra price here are now roughly about the same, and they're also just about underneath the DB market price. So that is for me about a reasonable weighting for Umbra, but by changing one weighting you're always changing something else, so it's always kind of like a bit of a guess and a balance. Because now we look at Veil Crystals, here is 24 and here is 33. So I'm looking at these two and thinking, how could I possibly change the weighting on these? If I change the weighting of Expulsum, it'll change both these values here down here. If I change the weighting of Veiled, it'll change this one a little bit as well. So if I maybe take this and let's try one direction, see how it goes. So 13 lowers that. Obviously everything else adjusts to compensate, because it always adds up to the same thing, so it doesn't really matter. That's the thing to bear in mind here. So if I take this down again to 10, we can see that that's getting a lot lower now. So maybe if we went up here to 20, now that's quite interesting, because at Veiled at 20, that's at 33 and that's at 32, so those are about the same. And then Umbra Shards, this one's at 18 and this one's at 16, which is about the same. We could maybe lower the Umbra Shard a little bit here to 9. No, let's go the other way. Let's go 11. So that's now, Umbra Shards are 17 there and 17 there. Veiled Crystals are 31 here and 32 here. So those are looking about right in my eyes. And then I compare those with the Umbra Shard here and the DB market price. That's just a little bit less than that. Gloom Dust has gone down to 3.25 versus 6.34, but that has gone closer to this value here. So that's looking to me to be about balanced, which is what I look for when I'm doing the weighting. Is I'm literally just playing with these numbers here to try and get these numbers roughly balanced. But as I said previously, it doesn't matter fully. It's all just down to sort of a little bit of personal preference, because the weighting just shifts the proportion to each other, but they always add up to the same amount. So I hope that makes sense. I know I kind of monologued a fair amount on that one, but I hope that makes sense. It's always the most confusing part of the shuffle, that part. But there we go. You can't get them matched up at all. Ah, right. Okay, so it's probably a... It doesn't matter too much. I would probably just start with one, like the Umbra shards, and see if you can get a... you may just have to fiddle with the figures and just keep fiddling with them until they get slightly close. The difference is so big, so you might have to go a bit more extreme on your numbers. What else did I miss on the chat whilst that was going through? Oh, did I miss the resubs? I'm sorry, Aaron's Kyle. Thank you very much for your resub. Thank you very much indeed. I do apologise for missing that whilst I'm monologued. I have a whole load of emotes in chat. Thank you very much. Very kind of you. What else did I miss on here? What benefits from the Army of Alts? That was to do with Inscription. And then for tailoring, you need the book. Yep, that's all for that. Thanks for sharing information. 36 Alts sounds really fun. Yeah, that is a lot. Am I going to get back to classic goal making soon? That's a tricky one. I really wish I could, but I'm so short on time at the moment. I would like to do some more. I went on earlier, and I just had a little go with my leveling, and I'd like to get myself up to level 35. I do love classic, but there's so much to do in retail at the moment. I'm struggling to balance everything up. It's a shame. It's a shame. There's more than one WoW to play now because my time is divided. Short on time. Heck no. Tholder, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. Wow, talking of time, I can't believe it's actually hit 10 o'clock already. That time has absolutely flown past. And that is going to be time for me to wrap up the stream as well. Retail is more than classic at the moment with 8.3 hypes. Yeah, definitely enjoying retail at the moment with so much going on at the moment. So Waiting's Umbra 70, Gloom 4, Expulsum 30, Veiled 70. Tell you what, Marshy, if you share a link to how you've put in the spreadsheet on the Discord, and then in the next day or two I'll have a look and see if I can play around with the waiting and send it back to you. Obviously with Christmas and everything going on, I may be a few days on getting it back to you, but feel free to send me your copy of the sheet with your numbers in it, and I'll see if I can play with the waiting to see if I can get it to something resembling something useful. Is there a way to put a wildcard on disenchanting macros so you can do all types? I don't use disenchanting macros myself. I don't think you can use wildcards for them. So I simply just use TSM Destroy for that. I found it a lot easier that way. Spare Tea is sick and Raid might help her feel better. Oh, is she? Let's have a look. The Umbra to Veiled is profitable to you. Excellent. That's pretty cool. Let's have a look. See who is on. So we have a couple of people. Spare Tea being one of them, definitely. Yeah, let's give Spare Tea a raid, I think. Let me just click on her and get that set up, and then I can say my proper farewells to everyone. There we go. And let me just get this sorted out, just so I can get everything ready. Okay, so I want to say a big massive thank you first and foremost to everyone who's hung out in the stream tonight. Really, really appreciated your company. Second most, I hope you all have a fantastic Christmas and spend lots of time with your loved ones, family, pets, and all sorts of things, and have just a great time, and also get some time to play World of Warcraft as well. My next stream will be on next Sunday, so I will be around. I'll be writing another WoW Economy blog as well in that time. So I will be back at my usual time throughout Christmas. So just before the New Year, we'll be back. Until then, as I said, have a lovely Christmas. Eat well, be merry, and spend time with your loved ones. We're going to send a host over. Hey, good use of the highlighted text, Jack. We'll send a host over to Sparety to wish her well. So, from myself and Oreo, who's still behind me, have a great evening and see you very soon.